Reborn as a lion, everything begins with self-discipline. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 1 Rebirth as a Lion, starting with self-discipline. The setting sun was like blood. Looking at the endless prairie and his furry forelimbs that were obviously not human, Chenmo felt desolate and hopeless about his life as a lion. He was no longer a human. He was a 2-month-old little lion. I just downloaded a self-discipline game on Steam. How come I'm not a human when I just started it? After complaining casually, Chenmo began to think about the biggest problem he was facing right now: how to survive. When he woke up, he also got the original memory of the lion cub. The lion cub he reborn was a newborn of a lion group on this grassland, but because of his birth disability in his hind legs, he was rejected by the entire lion group. Since childhood, his brothers and sisters did not play with him, his mother only gave him the least milk, and his father, the Lion King, never looked at him. Because in the grassland where the strong prey on the weak, disability means weakness, means that it cannot survive, and means that it may die at any time. Although the little lion tried his best to survive and integrate into the lion group, it was still out of tune. This afternoon, the lion group finally chose to leave quietly after it fainted from hunger. The little guy was abandoned in this dangerous grassland. We still have to find the lion group first. Chenmo made a decision after a little thought without time to feel sad or sigh. This is his only chance to survive. There are countless dangers hidden in the grassland at night. Even if he survives by chance, he will starve to death without mastering hunting skills. Without the protection of the lion group, it is impossible for a 2-month-old lion cub to survive on this grassland. It's dusk now. The lion group should find a place to rest, which must not be too far from where I am now. Thinking in his heart, Chenmo took a deep breath. He was identifying the smell left by the lion group to confirm the direction of advance. Under the setting sun, a skinny young lion staggered and ran on the grassland. Then the next second, plop. Chenmo, who had not yet adapted to his new body, fell to the ground with a face break. Hungry, painful, disabled. The discomfort from all parts of his body after the fall made Chenmo deeply realize that he was extremely weak now. Presumably, the little lion died slowly in this despair. No, I want to live. In the end, the strong desire to survive in his heart made Chenmo stand up, and then he began to run forward limping. Just as Chenmo began to gradually adapt to the body of this little lion, suddenly, a somewhat illusory gray-black panel suddenly appeared in front of him. The self-discipline challenge has been opened. Please choose one of the following 3 challenges. Complete the self-discipline challenge. You will get the corresponding title. Challenge 1, Clean Lion, White. Insist on taking a bath 3 times a day for 7 days. Challenge 2, Rampage Lion, White. Insist on walking more than 20,000 steps every day for 7 days. Challenge 3, Raging Lion, White. Insist on running for 2 hours every day, with a running speed of not less than 30 kilometers per hour, for 7 days. Blinking his eyes and confirming that it was not an illusion, Chenmo's originally cold heart finally felt a little comfort. Good news, he's going to die. Bad news, he's going to die. After a quick look, Chenmo quickly chose the challenge of Running Lion, and then continued to run on the grassland. Cleaning Lion did not seem to be of much help to his current situation, and Raging Lion was even more impossible to complete. More importantly, these 3 self-discipline challenges are at least 7 days, and it is still a question whether he can survive 7 days. The most important thing now is to catch up with the lion group. I don't know how long I walked on this grassland, until the distant horizon completely extinguished the embers of the sunset, until the night fell and the bright moon hung high. Chenmo felt that his consciousness had become blurred, his body had long been numb, and now it was purely the soul that drove the body to keep moving forward. Fortunately, the smell left by the lion group became stronger and stronger. It's almost there. It's almost there. Finally, when he was completely exhausted, Chenmo saw a group of lions sleeping in strange postures in the shade of the trees not far away. He finally found the lion group. But he knew that the test of survival might have just begun, 2 minutes ago. Lion territory. The Lion King and other lionesses were already asleep. Only one lioness opened her eyes, looking at the vast night in the distance, as if expecting something. It was the biological mother of the lame little lion. It was waiting for little Cripple. The lion group's abandonment of little cripple was actually a test. If the little cripple didn't catch up before dawn, they would leave. Little cripple couldn't prove that he had the ability to survive alone on this grassland, so it was better to die early. This was the law on this grassland. Its breast milk and the food of the lion group were limited. This disabled little lion drank too much, and the other brothers and sisters drank less. The nature of animals made it choose more offspring to survive. But it was the mother of little cripple after all. And next to the lioness, most of the little lions had fallen asleep. Only one of the little lions with golden hair, like its mother, looked into the distance and looked forward to it. It is the elder sister of little cripple and the brother of the same father and mother. Before, when the lion group was about to leave, it slapped little cripple hard to wake it up, but little cripple was sleeping too soundly, so it had to leave with a lion group and its mother. Suddenly, a yellow figure appeared in the vision of the little lioness. It was its lame brother. The little lioness subconsciously nudged her mother, but found that her mother had already found little cripple with a flickering look in her eyes. Although the lioness had been waiting for little cripple, it did not think that little cripple could survive and find the lion group. It was called a trial, but in fact, it had already given up little cripple. But unexpectedly, a miracle happened, and little cripple actually found the lion group. Seeing the only awake lioness in the lion group, the bond in the blood made Shenmo instantly realize that it was his biological mother. Without any hesitation, the little lion limped and ran towards the lioness. He had not eaten for a whole day, and he would die soon if he did not eat. Now he could only take a gamble and pray that the lioness was willing to breastfeed him. What surprised Shenmo was that this time, the lioness did not reject him as the little lion remembered. She just looked at it with a loving look, then slowly lay down and let him drink milk. Shenmo did not drink too much, and when he felt the hunger dissipated, he stopped eating. He was afraid that drinking too much would choke to death, or cause the lioness to be disgusted. After drinking enough, Shenmo began to walk quickly near the lion group. Each of his steps was very small, but the frequency was incredibly fast. The ultimate small steps. That's right, Shenmo started today's self-discipline challenge. 30 years in the East, 30 years in the West. Don't bully the lame young lion. Chapter 2, Rampage Lion. While taking small steps to discipline himself, Shenmo silently said panel in his heart, and the gray-black virtual panel appeared again. At this moment, the two self-discipline challenges, Cleaning Lion, and Raging Lion, were both wrapped with black iron chains and became blocked, while a completion progress bar appeared below the self-discipline challenge of Raging Lion, 12304/20000007. In order to find the lion group, he had already walked more than 12,000 steps. Now, as long as he could walk less than 8,000 steps, today's self-discipline challenge would be completed. Walking aimlessly like this reminded Shenmo of his stupid behavior of using a hand-cranked step-counting device in his student days. It was a pity that he could not go back. After an unknown amount of time, Shenmo, who had reached the limit of his physical and mental strength, finally could not hold on and fell asleep completely. In the early morning, Shenmo woke up slowly. The other three lionesses went hunting, and the Lion King also set out to patrol his territory. Only the lion mother and several other cubs were left here. The cubs were still sleeping. Shenmo took a look at the challenge and found that the number of steps had become 0/20000. It was already a new day. Perhaps because of drinking breast milk, Shenmo felt that he was in a much better condition today, and his small steps became much lighter. Soon, the cubs woke up one after another and began to play around the lioness. This kind of playing is actually training their skills in catching prey. Naturally, they also saw Shenmo not far away. Looking at the little cripple who was obviously lame and still taking small steps, the cubs thought that it was not only lame, but also crazy. Oh woo, our mother said not to play with fools. The little lions once again chose to ignore Shenmo. But this kind of ignoring is the best result for Shenmo. As long as he can keep following the lion group, he doesn't have to worry about being attacked by other creatures. After 7 days, he will complete the first self-discipline challenge, and maybe he will be able to turn things around. Thinking this way, he continued to use small steps to start a day of self-discipline. Noon. The scorching sun burned every inch of land on the grassland, and even under the shade of the trees, Shenmo could smell the burning smell. The three lionesses and the Lion King who were responsible for hunting came back. Today they had a good harvest, hunting a warthog and a warthog cub. They and the Lion King began to enjoy the warthog, and the warthog cub was thrown to the little lions. The 2-month-old lions can already eat meat, and this is also their first meal of meat. Ayo, ayo, the little lions saw the warthog cub that had died, and they all pounced on it and began to quickly divide the food. Chenmo glanced at his brothers and sisters, but did not grow up. He was waiting for his mother to enjoy the big meal. The lion mother should be in a good mood after eating, maybe she can have a good meal today. Just as Chenmo continued to use small steps to count his steps, a piece of bloody meat suddenly appeared in front of him. It was thrown by a very beautiful little lion with the golden hair. Chenmo's sister lion had the same father and mother. After it divided up the most of the warthog meat, it threw a small piece of it in front of Chenmo, looking at the bloody raw meat under his feet. Chenmo was psychologically resistant, but his instinct and the most primitive desire for raw meat made him break through his inner grudge. Then, it smelled really good. The senses of lions are completely different from those of humans. The bloody raw meat actually made Chenmo feel satisfied. Soon, the other little lions finished their part of the warthog meat, and then their eyes looked at Chenmo at the same time. One of the little lions, who Chenmo called Curly, quickly took action. Chenmo took a step back and prepared to give up the food, although he really wanted to go up and give Curly a big slap. But his strength did not allow it. Then the next second, Chenmo saw the sister lion who had finished eating the meat and was about to sleep not far away suddenly stood up and ran in front of him. Ayo, sister lion stood quietly in front of the cripple, staring at Curly with fierce eyes, full of momentum. It seemed that she was saying again, "I'll protect it." Curly was scared back. Among all the little lions, sister lion was the strongest one and the one with the strongest fighting power. Ayo, thank you. Chenmo didn't know how lions should express their emotions, but he still growled to express his gratitude. Sister lion didn't respond, but just waited quietly for Chenmo to finish eating the meat, then returned to the lion mother, stretched her body, and fell asleep. Time flies, and a week has passed in the blink of an eye. During this week, Chenmo followed a lion group closely, and insisted on taking small steps every day. He gave each member of the lion group a name to distinguish them. The only male lion in the lion group was called Soft Rice Man by him, because he never hunted for himself, and only knew to eat the soft rice of 4 lionesses all day long. His biological mother was simply called Lion Mom by him. Although Lion Mom was still a little partial, she always gave him the least food or breast milk. But she didn't let him starve to death. Chenmo named sister lion Elsa. As for the other little lions, Chenmo named them casually, such as Ugly Orange, Bald Hair, Bald Tail, Dog Egg. On the last day of the Rage Lion Self-Discipline Challenge, Chenmo began to practice self-discipline in small steps in the early morning. Until the sun rose, Chenmo, who had been self-disciplined for more than 6 hours, looked at the self-discipline challenge panel with expectation. 19,998, 19,999, 20,000 at the moment when the progress bar of the Rage Lion Self-Discipline Challenge reached 100%. A line of blue light words popped up on the self-discipline panel. You have completed the self-discipline challenge, Rage Lion, White. Do you want to equip it? After selecting yes, with his mind, Chenmo suddenly felt a strange energy surging in his limbs like an electric current, and a tingling feeling came. But this feeling was fleeting. In less than 2 seconds, it disappeared without a trace along with the energy. The next second, Chenmo couldn't help but run. At this moment, he felt that his limbs were full of strength. After a rough test, Chenmo found that his running speed was more than twice as fast as before. Now, let alone other little lions, even the lioness may not run as fast as him. In addition, he felt that his endurance had also improved. He ran wildly on the grasslands for 10 minutes, but he didn't feel tired at all. The effect of Rampage Lion far exceeded its psychological expectations. Self-discipline feels great. Chenmo's heart was full of excitement and ambition. The magical effect of the golden finger made it realize that it would definitely become the king of this grassland in the future. Even the only king. After completing the self-discipline challenge of Rampage Lion, the chains on the other 2 self-discipline challenges disappeared, and a new self-discipline challenge appeared at the same time. Gluttony Lion, White. Eat more than 10 kilograms of meat every day for 7 days. According to the effect of the Gluttony Lion, this Gluttony Lion entry should be good, but unless I can hunt, it is impossible to eat 10 kilograms of meat every day. It is the rainy season now, and food is still sufficient. The lionesses have something to harvest every day. But the meat given to the cubs is only a little bit after all. Let's choose the Hurricane Lion. Chenmo made a decision quickly. Although the Cleaning Lion is easier to complete, its effect is likely to be of no help to him now. The title of Rampage Lion can increase one's speed, which complements the Rampage Lion. Besides, I just got the Rampage Lion, and my endurance has improved. It shouldn't be too difficult to run for 2 hours every day, right? Chapter 3 Lion Crisis. In the next few days, Chenmo ran around the lion group. New self-discipline has emerged. How can it stand still? In addition, Chenmo is also observing the lioness hunting, combining human thinking, and wants to summarize his own fighting method. He will eventually break away from the lion group and become independent. Hunting is his instinct, and it is also the basis for him to survive and become the king of this grassland in the future. On the other side, seeing the little cripple who limps but is different from ordinary lions in speed, the other little lions are stunned. Is this a cripple? They thought of the little cripple's recent weird behavior, running around the lion group with small steps every day. Could it be that is a special training method that can make you run faster? Raging Lion, Self-Discipline Challenge Day 4. Early in the morning, Chenmo saw that several other little lions were running around their mothers in small steps, and even when they were playing and fighting, they started with small steps. This scene looks very funny. Chenmo? Did you guys learn his method of taking small steps to increase the number of steps? The problem is that you don't have a system either. He found that he seemed to have seriously underestimated the intelligence of this lion group. This kind of imitation behavior is obviously an action that only animals with a certain degree of intelligence can do. The mothers of these little lions did not stop their children from taking small steps. After all, they all saw the changes that happened to little Cripple. He was a cripple who was abandoned 10 days ago, but now he is walking briskly. If little Cripple was not so stupid, they would all want to try it. Forget it, let her children try it first, and see if it works. Although the lion mother was puzzled by the changes that happened to little Cripple, her eyes showed more relief and kindness. With sufficient food, Chenmo clearly felt that his shriveled body was thriving. With a bonus of the title, Chenmo felt that he might soon have the ability to survive alone without the lion group. Maybe a month, or maybe a few months. However, no one knows which will come first, tomorrow or an accident. Raging Lion. On the morning of the 6th day of the challenge, when Chenmo was running wildly near the lion group, he suddenly heard 2 terrible and unfamiliar lion roars from a distance. It was another male lion. And there were 2 of them. The lion father Eat Soft Rice also woke up from his sleep, responded with a deafening roar, and then ran wildly in the direction of the lion's roar. Chenmo instantly realized a terrible fact. Another stray male lion broke into their territory and was about to start a life and death battle with Eat Soft Rice. Chenmo saw a related documentary in the animal world. The young male lion will challenge the old Lion King. If he defeats the old Lion King, then he will not only get the old Lion King's territory, but all the lionesses in the lion group will also belong to him. As for the cubs of the old Lion King, in order to show his authority to the lioness and make the lioness estrus again, the new Lion King will cruelly kill them all in front of the lioness. Come on, Gigolo. If you win, I won't call you Gigolo anymore, I'll call you Lion Daddy. No matter how much Chenmo disliked his Gigolo, he sincerely hoped that he could drive out the 2 strange male lions and win the battle. He finally had a few days of peace and tranquility, and he didn't want his peaceful life to be broken. At this moment, the lionesses in the lion group were also full of tension and worry. Except for the lion's sister Aisha, the other cubs were trembling and huddled in their mother's arms. After thinking about it, Chenmo decided to run away first. Gigolo is no longer in his prime, and the opponent is a male lion brother, so his chances of winning are actually very slim. If he stays here, if the 2 challenging male lions win, only death will be waiting for him. If Gigolo wins, he will come back shamelessly. He roared at the lion mother and Aisha, trying to get them to run with him. Although he didn't know if they could understand. Roar, the mother lion touched Elsa with her paw, and then pointed in the direction where Chenmo ran away. Its meaning was very clear, that was to let her 2 children run away together. Roar. Elsa roared at her mother in a baby voice, wanting her mother to run away with him. But the mother lion shook her head and kicked Elsa again, as if urging her. Although Elsa was worried about her mother, she followed Chenmo's direction without hesitation the next second. As for the other little lions, some wanted to run away with them, but looking at their mothers beside them, they did not take action after all. Perhaps they believed that their mothers would protect them, or perhaps they believed that their strong and majestic fathers would drive away the enemies. Chenmo was not particularly surprised to see Elsa following behind him. He had discovered before that the lions in the lion group he was reborn into generally had high IQs. Especially his lion sister Elsa, whose IQ and emotions were even comparable to those of children around 10 years old. After running for an unknown period of time, the two cubs came to the edge of the lion group's territory. It is relatively safe here. The signal hormones left before eating free food will deter other predators. The two cubs looked at the sunset in the distance, feeling uneasy. The battle between the male lions should have ended. I don't know who won. They dare not go back rashly, and can only pray silently in their hearts that their father can win the final victory. Chenmo glanced at the self-discipline challenge, and the progress bar of Raging Lion has reached June 7th. As long as he is self-disciplined for one more day tomorrow, he can get the title of Raging Lion. The next morning, Chenmo woke up at dawn. Because there was no protection from the lion group, he slept very lightly yesterday, always on guard against the dangers that might appear in the dark. It is better to get up early and complete the self-discipline challenge. Roar! A childish lion roar came from the side. Lion's sister Aisha was obviously the same as him, and she didn't even dare to sleep all night. The little lioness, who originally looked very strong, was now full of confusion in her eyes, not knowing where to go. Roar! Chenmo pointed to the original direction of the lion group. He wanted to see what happened yesterday. Roar! Aisha nodded, and then followed closely behind him. Although she didn't know what happened to her brother these days, the amazing speed he showed before, and his intelligence that was obviously higher than that of other little lions, made her trust him to a certain extent, even if she didn't realize it herself. After running for about an hour, Chenmo stopped and ran along the way. He stopped mainly to wait for the lion's sister, Rampage Lion, greatly enhanced his endurance. Chenmo can now sprint for 10 minutes, and can jog at a steady speed for more than an hour. Finally, near a grassland where lionesses often hunt, Chenmo saw the lion mother and the other 3 lionesses again. Their eyes were filled with unconcealable sadness. The result was obvious. Their father was defeated. Now the leaders of the lion group are the 2 new stray lions. As for the other little lions, it is obvious that they are also in danger. Without hesitation, Chenmo turned around and ran. He could no longer return to the lion group. If he was discovered by the lion patrolling the territory, he would have no way out. Chapter 4, First Hunt. The mother lion obviously saw the 2 cubs, and her originally sad eyes suddenly became bright. Then she tore a large piece of meat from the warthog she had just hunted, wanting to let her 2 children have a full meal. Looking back, she found that her lame son had run away, but her daughter ran over excitedly. Elsa, who had been hungry for most of the day, swallowed the warthog meat in big mouthfuls. However, before she could take 2 bites, the lioness looked into the distance and suddenly became anxious. Roar! It roared at Elsa, as if urging her to leave quickly. Elsa looked up and looked at her mother eagerly, but she was still greeted by the roar of the lioness. As if she understood something, Elsa looked at her mother again, then looked at the back of her lame brother who left in a chick manner, picked up the meat and followed. Coming to the edge of the lion group's territory again, Chenmo found that today's Raging Lion self-discipline challenge was almost completed. Just run for another 10 minutes and it will be completed. With plenty of physical strength, Chenmo did not stop running. Keep self-disciplined. Soon, Aisha caught up with him. Looking at the lame brother who was running wildly not far away, he opened his eyes wide. He didn't know why his lame brother was so optimistic, but under his influence, the confusion and helplessness in his heart were also washed away. Aisha ate half of the warthog meat, and prepared to leave the other half for his brother. When the progress bar of Raging Lion reached 100%, Chenmo looked at the panel excitedly and selected the equipment title. Just like the last time, the energy-like electric current quickly penetrated his body, as if opening the gene lock, and his body and limbs were strengthened in an instant. The disability of the hind legs was completely cured at this moment. Chenmo did not check the newly refreshed challenges first, but couldn't wait to feel the changes in his body. His speed has been greatly improved again. Compared with before, it is 50% faster. Now even a male lion may not be able to catch up with it. Moreover, Chenmo found that when he was in a running state, he would enter a wonderful state. The blood in his body was boiling, just like being injected with adrenaline. His physical strength, Strength, speed, and burst were all slightly improved. After thinking about it, Chenmo directly named it frenzy state. Unfortunately, this state is not long-lasting, and can only last for less than 1 minute at most. But it is enough for hunting. After simply experiencing the changes brought by Frenzy Lion, Chenmo looked at the self-discipline panel again. As before, the two self-discipline challenges, Cleaning Lion and Gluttony Lion, have been unlocked. The challenge replacing Frenzy Lion is called Observation Lion. Observation Lion, green, observe 10 different biological individuals every day, and the observation time for each biological individual shall not be less than 1 hour, for 1 month. Will Observation Lion make my observation more acute? Chenmo guessed the possible effect of this title. This is the first time he has seen a green self-discipline challenge. After a little thought, Chenmo still chose the self-discipline challenge of Gluttony Lion. Observation Lion needs to be self-disciplined for a whole month. The self-discipline cycle is too long. And from the current situation, the effect of Gluttonous Lion is more likely to be better than Observation Lion. It's just a little difficult. Eating 10 kilograms of meat every day is no different from its current weight. More importantly, after leaving the lion group, all the food needs to be hunted by himself. Of course, even if he doesn't accept this self-discipline challenge, he has to start hunting by himself now. Try it first. After eating the meat brought back by Sister Lion and taking a short rest, Chenmo returned to the big tree and gestured to Sister Lion Aisha with his little paws. It means that Aisha should wait in place while he goes out. Regardless of whether Sister Lion understood or not, Chenmo trotted all the way and came to the lush green grass again. This is the place where lionesses often hunt. This grassland is lush and green, and close to the water source. There will be many herbivores. Chenmo is ready to start his first hunt here. Although this is the territory of the male lion brothers. But now his speed and endurance are stronger than the male lion. Even if he is discovered by the male lion brothers, so what? If he can't beat him, can he still run away? Chenmo hid himself in the lush green grass. For his first hunt, he was ready to be a qualified old man. Not far away, a group of high-horned impalas were leisurely eating licorice. This is an antelope that is very good at jumping and running very fast, also known as black bucks. Because it runs very fast and is very alert, even the lioness will not regard it as the first hunting target. Chenmo did not move, patiently waiting for the opportunity to appear. About half an hour later, a female black buck, in order to enjoy more delicious green grass, unknowingly got farther and farther away from the main force, and was getting closer and closer to the position where Chenmo was hiding. Chenmo held his breath and prepared to wait for it to get closer before launching an attack. The female black buck glanced at the position where Chenmo was. It actually discovered the existence of the lion cub, but did not take it seriously. After confirming that there was no lioness, it continued to eat licorice leisurely. This 2-month-old lion cub, whose milk teeth have just grown out, can get rid of it by running casually. I don't know how far. Not to mention the young lion, even the lioness may not be able to catch up with it. Whoosh! When the black buck was less than 5 meters away from Chenmo rushed out without hesitation. The dual blessing of Rampage Lion plus Rampage Lion made it incredibly fast. The female black buck just heard the noise and subconsciously stepped forward to escape, but was already knocked to the ground by the young lion. After knocking the black buck to the ground, Chenmo opened his mouth and bit its throat, trying to give it a fatal blow. However, everything that happened next was completely different from what Chenmo expected. Its teeth were not fully developed, so it did not tear the black buck's throat as he expected, but only left a blood mark of not deep or shallow. Then, because of his lack of strength, even though the black buck was thrown to the ground, it quickly broke free from its arms, jumped high, and began to flee desperately. Chenmo was stunned for half a second, and then chased after it without hesitation. After breaking free from the lion cub, the impala ran at full speed, and couldn't help but feel relieved. It was because of its carelessness before that it didn't dodge. It should be safe now. But it guessed wrong. Sensing the whistling wind behind it, the impala couldn't help but look back, and was almost scared to death. I don't know what kind of strong medicine this lion cub has taken. The 30-meter distance that it just opened up when the lion cub was stunned was shortened to less than 10 meters in the blink of an eye. And the distance between the two is still rapidly approaching. While running, Chenmo entered a frenzy state. He felt his heart beating fast, His limbs were full of strength, and his speed rose to a higher level. At this moment, he was like a sports car with the accelerator pressed to the bottom. The lion's blood was boiling, and the lion cub's eyes flashed with a frightening fierce light. The female impala didn't have time to think about why this lion cub exuded such a terrifying aura, and why this lion cub could run so fast. It was pounced on the ground again. This time Chenmo did not choose to bite, but used claws. The female gorill's abdomen was torn cleanly. With the help of the hurricane state, Chenmo's strength was greatly improved, barely reaching the level of an ordinary female lion. Yo! The female gorilla let out a final tragic cry, and with another claw attack from Chenmo, she completely lost her life. Chapter 5, Gluttonous Lion. Success. The success of his first hunt made Chenmo feel a little happy. He didn't hesitate, bit the impala directly and began to eat it voraciously. The smell of blood would attract lions and other carnivores, so he had to enjoy this feast as soon as possible. 0.1 kg 0.5 kg 2 kg. The progress bar of the self-discipline challenge of Gluttonous Lion grew rapidly. When Chenmo finished eating 5 kilograms of meat, he felt that his body had reached its limit and his stomach was about to burst. But he endured the discomfort and continued to swallow the flesh and blood of the impala. For now, there are not many chances of hunting successfully. If it misses this meal, it is very likely that there will be no next meal. Roar! Just as Chenmo was feasting, a roar of a lion suddenly came from not far away. Then Chenmo saw a majestic red-maned lion with lush mane running towards it. One of the lion brothers had already discovered him. The moment he saw Chenmo, the red-maned lion was furious. The young lion in front of him dared to hunt in his territory. This was simply a provocation to his majesty. So he burst out at his fastest speed and chased after him. He wanted to catch up with this ignorant young lion and then bite it to death. Seeing the angry lion, Chenmo was not panicked at all. Now he had absolute confidence in his speed. He swallowed another mouthful of blood and flesh fiercely. Seeing that the progress bar of today's self-discipline challenge had reached 75%, Chenmo picked up a black buck leg and ran away. The red-maned lion chased for a while, and soon it was surprised to find that the young lion was incredibly fast. Even better than it. The distance between the two was getting farther and farther. In less than 5 minutes, the lion was already panting and out of breath. The lion's burst was good, but its endurance was a little worse. Roar! Looking at the young lion that had turned into a small black dot, it was so angry that it roared in impotence and fury. It was too embarrassing to not be able to catch up with a lion cub that was less than 3 months old. In the end, it had no choice but to give up the pursuit and return to the original place. Looking at the half-remaining body of the black buck, its eyes suddenly lit up. Now that things have come to this, let's eat first. Chenmo trotted all the way back to the big tree at the edge of the lion's territory. Although he had long since gotten rid of the male lion, he still felt his blood boiling. Exciting, free, wild. In the past half-month since his rebirth, Chenmo felt that he had begun to enjoy the feeling of becoming a lion. Looking around, he found that sister lion was not there. Is there any danger? Chenmo was a little worried, but it was useless to think too much. He slowed down a little and began to run around the giant tree to digest the food. When the food in his body was almost digested, he began to gnaw on the antelope leg he brought back. When half of the antelope leg was eaten, Chenmo glanced at the self-discipline panel. Gluttonous Lion, 1/7, today's self-discipline challenge is finally completed. At this time, the sky suddenly became dark. Accompanied by rumbling thunder, heavy rain began to wash every inch of land on the grassland. It is now the rainy season in Africa, and there will be a heavy rainstorm every few days. But this is a good thing for Chenmo. The rain will dilute the bloody smell on his body, and the safety factor will be greatly improved. The only thing that makes Chenmo a little worried is the lion's sister Aisha. It was not until sunset that Chenmo finally saw the familiar figure in the heavy rain. Aisha had not eaten for a long time. She felt a little confused and scared while being hungry. This morning, after Chenmo left, she began to look for prey nearby. Aisha has been different from ordinary lions since she was a child. When she and her brother were forced to leave the lion group, they realized that they must hunt independently in the future. His own lion brother is a little inconvenient, so the burden of hunting naturally falls on him. But unfortunately, its hunting skills are not mature, not to mention that it is still young, and its strength and speed are far from the minimum requirements of a hunter. It finally encountered a hare, but it couldn't catch up. This made Elsa feel an unprecedented sense of frustration. It returned to the temporary nest with its brother in a daze, but after getting closer, it could vaguely smell a faint smell of blood. This made it alert instantly, and a little worried in its heart. Could something happen to its silly brother? Elsa ran quickly and soon saw the lazy figure under the tree. Its silly brother was hiding under the tree and sleeping, his tail swaying, and he looked in a good mood. As if sensing its approach, the young lion suddenly stood up and threw something at itself. Elsa looked down and found that it was actually a half-eaten antelope leg. Shenmo waved his paw, signaling Elsa to eat quickly, and then squinted his eyes. He had already eaten a lot before, and now he just wanted to have a good sleep. Roar, looking at the food, Elsa couldn't help but feel a little touched. It didn't know that Shenmo had actually had a full meal, and thought that he had specially left half for it. Although Elsa didn't know how the lion brother got the antelope leg, it must have gone through a lot of danger for the young lion to get this food. Hungry Elsa swallowed a mouthful of meat and purred with satisfaction. It couldn't help but think of the time when it was in the lion group before, when it would snatch the food that originally belonged to the lion brother from the hands of other cubs and return it to the lion brother. At this moment, it was just like that moment. After eating the antelope leg, Elsa's heart was full of fighting spirit again. Must work hard on hunting tomorrow. Try to bring back a hare for the lion brother. This time, it should be its turn to raise the brother. It was dawn. The sun rose, and the fiery red sun slowly rose from the distant horizon. A young lion with the golden hair slowly woke up from his sleep. Shenmo opened his eyes and saw that the self-discipline challenge of Gluttonous Lion on the panel had been refreshed. It's a new day again. Shenmo looked around and didn't see the figure of the lion sister. Where have you been so early? Shenmo didn't care. He was going to continue to the green grasslands to start today's hunting. After returning yesterday, Shenmo had been reviewing and summarizing in his mind, and developed his own tactics. He felt that today's hunting operation should be very successful. Soon, Shenmo arrived at the green grassland. Yesterday's heavy rain made the grassland particularly moist, and also attracted a large number of herbivores. Shenmo looked at a group of black bucks 100 meters away. That's right. His target today is still the black buck. This creature is simply the best hunting target. The brain is not very good, and there is no attack power. The only advantage of speed is not enough in front of Shenmo. Chapter 6, The Lion Who Eats His Brother. After confirming the target, Shenmo approached the impala group without any concealment. The impala naturally noticed the movement made by Shenmo, but when they saw that it was just a lion cub, they ignored it. Shenmo was secretly happy. Relying on his harmless lion cub image, these silly impalas did not run away at the first time. It was not until they entered the hunting distance that the lion cub suddenly jumped up and attacked one of the impalas that looked thinner. The impala was frightened and wanted to escape, but it was too late. After Shenmo knocked it down, he immediately scratched a hole in its body with his claws. Then he let it break free. As Shenmo expected, the other impalas fled in all directions. The injured impala was greatly frightened and fled in panic. Shenmo entered a frenzy state and chased after it. Then he knocked it down again and scratched a bloody mark on the impala's abdomen with his claws. After repeating this 3 or 4 times, the skinny black buck slowed down and finally fell to the ground, gradually losing its breath. The first battle of the bleeding tactic was a success. Shenmo began to enjoy the prey. However, when it was feasting, the familiar roar of a lion came again not far away. The red-maned male lion from yesterday appeared again. Compared with yesterday, Shenmo was calmer, quickly swallowed a mouthful of blood and flesh, then picked up a leg of lamb and ran away. Before running away, Shenmo even gave the male lion a middle finger, thinking silently in his heart, Shenmo will remember this vengeance. Roar! The male lion chased up again, but the ending did not change much, just leaving a series of helpless roars on the grassland. At noon, Aisha returned to the nest with nothing. Its eyes were very lonely. When the lion brother threw food to it yesterday, it was excited and a little ashamed. The lame brother caught the prey, but it didn't. So at dawn, Aisha set out to hunt. However, the reality is cruel. In the morning, it not only did not catch any prey, but also consumed a lot of physical strength. Its stomach was rumbling. The antelope leg that its brother brought it yesterday could be said to have been eaten in vain. However, as soon as it returned to the nest, it saw its lame brother throwing another antelope leg that it had only eaten a small part of to itself. This antelope leg was even bigger than the one yesterday. Aisha? It looked at its brother with surprise, unable to understand how it did it. After throwing the antelope leg to Sister Lion, Chenmo squinted his eyes and prepared to go to bed. The young lion needs enough sleep. Now that Sister Lion is back, it can have a good sleep. Looking at the little lion who fell asleep in seconds not far away, Aisha felt warm in her heart. It seems that it is good to have such a brother. The next morning, when Chenmo was preparing to hunt, Aisha followed him. Today, it wanted to hunt with its brother. But Chenmo refused. It was worried that the male lion would guard it directly in the grassland today. Although the average male lion may not have such wisdom, the lions in the lion group he stayed in before seemed to have a high IQ. Don't be afraid of 10,000, just be afraid of one. If the male lion is really waiting, Chenmo can easily get rid of the lion's pursuit, but the lion's sister can't. When he was in the lion group before, the lion's sister was very good to it. And Chenmo didn't want it to have an accident. Seeing that her brother didn't let her follow him and burst out at a speed that it couldn't catch up at all, Aisha was surprised and had to go to the nearby area to find prey alone. Returning to the green grassland near the water source, Chenmo didn't see the lion. With his increasingly skilled hunting skills, he captured a black buck again. And when it was feasting, the red-haired male lion from yesterday arrived as promised again. Chenmo skillfully held the antelope leg in his mouth and ran away. However, this time, the male lion only chased him symbolically, and then returned to the black buck carcass, which was still mostly left, and ate it happily. He couldn't catch up with it, and every time the young lion was chased away by him, it would always leave fresh prey that it hadn't finished eating. It seemed pretty good. The male lion even fell in love with a feeling of getting something for nothing. But this matter couldn't be known to other lions. It would be a pity for the lions. In this way, a week passed. Chenmo went to the green grassland to hunt every day. Hares, young warthogs, impalas. At its amazing speed, these ordinary herbivores could hardly escape. The male lion seemed to have acquiesced to Chenmo's existence, but he would expel him every time when he was halfway through eating. Chenmo understood the male lion's intention. This guy wanted to get something for nothing. This also made Chenmo completely hate the male lion. He thought silently in his heart, when I grow up, I must let this male lion know why the flowers are so red. In a blink of an eye, a few days passed. Lion sister Aisha's perception of her lion brother has changed dramatically. In the first few days after leaving the lion group, it was in a state of extreme worry and panic every day. Now when she returns home at noon every day, Aisha finds that her brother will take out a piece of meat from nowhere and throw it in front of her. This causes her to eat even more every day than when she was in the lion group before. After hunting for 4 consecutive days without any results, Aisha also gave up hunting on her own. Under normal circumstances, female lions will start to try hunting when they are 6 months old. It is as difficult as climbing to the sky for Aisha, who is less than 3 months old, to succeed in hunting alone. Now Aisha sleeps under the tree until she wakes up naturally every day, and then waits for her brother to feed her. If she goes hunting on her own, not only will she get nothing, but she will also consume a lot of physical strength, and the consequence is that she will get hungry faster. She has calmly accepted that she has become a lion that eats her brother, because she eats a lot of meat every day. In just 1 week, Chenmo's body size has become visibly larger. But these are not the most important things. On the 7th day, when Chenmo finished eating half a hare, he finally completed the last day of self-discipline of Gluttonous Lion. You have completed the self-discipline challenge, Gluttonous Lion. White, do you want to equip it? After choosing yes with his mind, the familiar electric current appeared again, but this time Chenmo did not feel any changes in his body. Does it mean I have to eat meat? Chenmo had a guess in his mind, and immediately took a bite of the unfinished rabbit leg. This time, after swallowing the flesh and blood, he could clearly feel that his body was digesting the nutrients and energy in the flesh and blood at an astonishing speed. When Chenmo completely ate the wild rabbit, he felt a warm current flowing through his body. Strength seems to have become stronger. Chapter 7, 3 months? So that's how it is. This title can make me stronger by eating meat. Chenmo was a little excited. His speed is fast enough now, and strength is his biggest shortcoming. The effect of Gluttonous Lion can be said to perfectly make up for this shortcoming and greatly improve its comprehensive combat ability. Chenmo took another look at the self-discipline challenge. The newly refreshed self-discipline challenge is called Jumping Lion. Jump 2,000 times a day for a week. Chen Mo feels that the effect of this title should be to strengthen his jumping ability. After thinking about it, Chen Mo finally chose Observation Lion. His speed is already invincible, and his strength can be further improved by Gluttonous Lion. Enhancing jumping ability is not particularly critical for him. The effect of Observation Lion may be to discover the weaknesses and fatal parts of other animals, which may be of great help to him. And Chen Mo wants to see the strength of the green title. In the next 7 days, Chen Mo hunted in the green grass near the pond as usual. After obtaining the title of Gluttonous Lion, Chen Mo began a crazy hunting mode. Every day he went out early and returned late. Because of the improvement in speed, strength and other aspects, none of the prey it set its sights on could escape its claws. Crazy hunting, crazy eating, crazy growth. Every time he ate, he seemed to feel his muscles getting stronger, his bones getting stronger, and every cell in his body was cheering. In addition, the red-haired male lion who wanted to get something for nothing could never grab his food again. Gluttonous Lion greatly improved Chen Mo's eating speed and digestion ability. It only took him less than 20 minutes to completely eat an adult black buck. Often when the male lion came, Chen Mo had already enjoyed the feast. After the male lion left, Chen Mo started a new round of hunting. Because he ate a lot of meat every day, he gave full play to the effect of the title of Gluttonous Lion. Chen Mo's size and strength grew at an astonishing rate every day. On the 7th day, although Chen Mo still looked like a little lion, his size was almost the same as that of an ordinary lioness. The lion's sister Aisha who lived with him was stunned. This is 3 months? If it hadn't been with its brother most of the time, it would have doubted whether it was the same lion. Time passed quietly between the rising and falling of the sun and the setting of the stars. In the blink of an eye, another 3 weeks passed. In these 3 weeks, Chen Mo went to the lion's territory to hunt as usual. With the blessing of Gluttonous Lion, Chen Mo's body size became bigger and bigger. In half a month, its body size was almost the same as that of an adult male lion, and now it is even bigger than a male lion. Chen Mo estimates that his current weight may have reached 300 kilograms or even heavier. The body length is also close to 4 meters. Although he still looks like a cute little lion. Unfortunately, his growth in size did not continue. On the 20th day after obtaining the title of Gluttonous Lion, Chen Mo found that no matter how much meat he ate, his size and strength did not continue to grow. The increase brought to him by Gluttonous Lion seems to have reached a limit. Only twice when he swallowed a large amount of meat, Chen Mo felt that an extremely weak airflow, or energy, was born in his body. This energy is very small and is hidden in the abdomen. If you don't observe it carefully, you can't detect its existence. Chen Mo doesn't know what this energy is or what it does, but his intuition tells him that this energy may be more important than the strength of the body. As his strength increases, Chen Mo becomes more and more courageous. He begins to hunt in other areas and fights with some medium and large creatures. Hyenas, leopards, and horned cattle. Chen Mo has fought with these animals. In addition to training his combat ability, it is more important to confirm his position in this grassland. Without exception, these medium and large creatures have become his defeated opponents. Of course, in addition to hunting, the most common thing Chen Mo does every day is to observe various creatures. He will stare at a few antelopes for half a day, and will also watch the hyenas hunting motionlessly. Chen Mo even feels that he is reliving the animal world he watched when he was a child, and his eyes are the best camera. Observing lions, Self-Discipline Challenge Day 30. After Chen Mo completed today's self-discipline challenge, he excitedly looked at the self-discipline panel, Observation Lion, 30/30. After a month of self-discipline, the moment of harvest finally arrived. After selecting the equipment, the entry of Observation Lion shattered and turned into a green light spot that merged into the little lion's body. This time, Chen Mo felt that his eyes were electrocuted. But this feeling was fleeting. The next second, Chen Mo felt that the world in front of him became much clearer in an instant. Its vision has been greatly improved. Originally, its vision was similar to that of an ordinary lion. On a clear day, it could see objects about 2 kilometers away. But now, it has been directly improved by 5 times. It can see objects about 10 kilometers away. Chen Mo felt that as a green self-discipline title, the effect of Observation Lion should not be limited to this, so his eyes looked at the sleeping lion's sister next to him. This is the best test subject. The next second, Chen Mo found that a small frame similar to the panel appeared above Aisha's head. It read, African lion, female, super level, ordinary. Ah. That's it. Chenmo was stunned. This title seemed to be a little weaker than it expected. After all, this was a green title, so how could its effect not even match that of a white title? After further study, Chenmo gradually figured out the correct way to open Observe Lion. The effect of Observe Lion is that the longer you observe the target, the more detailed the information displayed. When Chenmo observed Sister Lion for 1 minute, the information in the frame changed. African lion, female, level, common, constitution. 3. Agility. 3. Strength. 3. Soul. 4. Comprehensive combat power. 3-4. Seeing that Sister Lion Aisha's comprehensive combat power was not even 5, Chenmo couldn't help laughing out loud. He tried it again. If the observation time was long enough, Aisha's weight, height, maximum explosive power, age, current mood, personality and hobbies and other various information would appear one by one. Chenmo found it very interesting. Aisha on the side was not actually asleep, but just squinting her eyes and taking a nap. Then it noticed that its brother was staring at it all the time, and would smile foolishly from time to time. This scene made Aisha feel warm in her heart. In the month of being kept by her brother, she developed an extraordinary dependence and affection for Chenmo. Aisha, who is very intelligent, had already regarded Chenmo as her closest relative and someone she could rely on. Although, they were already close relatives. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 8 Challenge the Lion King. Chenmo certainly didn't know what Sister Lion was thinking. After observing Sister Lion, he began to observe himself. African lion, male, level, low-level supernatural, constitution. 10. Agility. 14. Strength. 10. Soul. 8. Comprehensive combat power. 4276. Hey, why am I a supernatural creature? Chenmo found that his level column showed that he was actually a low-level supernatural creature, which was different from Sister Lion's mortal species. Could it be that it was the two mysterious energies in his body? Chenmo had a vague guess in his mind, but he didn't continue to dwell on it. The level of attribute values and comprehensive combat power can directly reflect the strength of a creature. Not bad, my comprehensive combat power is about equal to 30 Sister Lions. Chenmo was quite satisfied with the ability of Observation Lion. Of course, he knew that these attribute values and comprehensive combat power values could only be used for reference. Real battles were not like card games, where a simple numerical competition was conducted. When the strength gap was not large, wisdom and will were more important. After getting familiar with the effect of Observation Lion, Chenmo couldn't wait to take a look at the attribute panel of the red-haired male lion. If he is not as good as himself in all aspects, Chenmo is ready to avenge his father. Of course, the most important thing is revenge for food. You know, a month ago, the male lion robbed him of a lot of prey. These days, the fire of revenge is stirring in his heart. It's just that he didn't act for the sake of safety. Thinking of this, Chenmo ran towards the green grass. Seeing his brother suddenly get up, Elsa stopped pretending to sleep and followed closely. More than 10 days ago, it started to go hunting with Chenmo. Although it played a minimal role, the sense of participation in each successful hunt made Elsa feel extremely excited. She and her brother killed wildly. Soon, Chenmo came to the familiar green grass. With amazing speed and strength, he easily hunted a black buck. But this time, Chenmo did not enjoy the food, but let the smell of blood spread. Finally, 5 minutes later, a familiar lion roar came from a distance. A male lion with red mane and strong physique ran towards it quickly. This time, Chenmo did not run away, but stared at the male lion quietly. Soon, Chenmo got all the information about it. African lion, male, level, ordinary, physique. 8. Agility. 7. Strength. 8. Spirit. 3. Comprehensive combat power. 2631. The attributes of this male lion are lower than Chenmo imagined. Not only is the physique, speed, and strength all crushed by the current Chenmo, but its spirit is even pitifully low. Even the lion's sister Aisha can't compare. This instantly made Chenmo burst with confidence. It turns out that male lions are not that powerful. Roar, So facing the roar of the red-haired male lion, this time he did not choose to run away as before, but provocatively issued a challenge to the male lion. The loud lion roar sounded on the grassland. Although it was a little immature, it had already begun to show the demeanor of a king. Roar. Facing Chen Mo's provocation, the red-haired lion responded with a more powerful and violent roar. It was the first time that it looked straight at the familiar lion cub. The main reason was that the lion cub had run too fast before, and the red-haired lion could only see its back every time. Seeing this, the red-haired lion was startled. Unknowingly, the size of the lion cub was actually a circle larger than it. What do the lion cubs eat nowadays? Isn't this growth rate too exaggerated? After roaring a few times, the lion stopped more than 100 meters away from Chen Mo. It knew that it couldn't catch up, so it just wanted to drive this dirty thing out of its territory. Looking at the indifferent lion not far away, Chen Mo was also stunned. He originally wanted to provoke the lion first, let the lion chase it madly, and then take action after consuming a certain amount of physical strength. Unexpectedly, the lion knew that it couldn't catch up with him, and faced with its provocation, it was too lazy to chase. Helpless, Chen Mo had to roar, trash talk, while actively rushing towards the lion. Looking at the large lion cub running towards him, the lion was surprisingly angry. This lion cub was simply looking for death by provoking him again and again in his territory. If the lion doesn't show its power, do you really think I'm a sick cat? Without thinking, the angry lion ran towards Chen Mo. When the two lions were less than 3 meters away, the lion jumped high and wanted to pounce on Chen Mo, crush with its own strength. This is also the lion's favorite way of fighting. However, the lion cub in front of it seemed to see through its movements, and evaded its attack flexibly by turning sideways. At the same time, when passing by, it slapped the lion sideways with a claw, leaving 3 long blood marks. After the hit, Chen Mo fled. He wanted to rouse the anger of the lion, let the lion chase him desperately, and then completely drag it down with his physical strength and speed advantage. Roar. The lion made a deafening sound. It was completely enraged. There was only one thought left in its mind, that is, to kill the young lion in front of it that repeatedly challenged its majesty. Chen Mo deliberately controlled his speed, keeping the distance between himself and the lion between 5 and 10 meters. For the lion, this was a distance that seemed within reach 5 minutes later. The lion slowed down. Running at full speed consumed a lot of its physical strength. But seeing the large young lion close at hand, the lion's dignity still made it choose to continue chasing. After running for so long, the young lion should be about to reach its limit, right? But the next moment, the young lion running in front of it suddenly turned back, and the moment the two crossed, it clawed it again. Before the red-haired lion could react, it felt the sharp claws scratch the skin on its back again, and the bright red blood flowed silently. Roar. Wrapped in unparalleled anger, the lion that reacted immediately pounced on Chen Mo. However, to the lion's surprise, this time, the young lion on the opposite side did not choose to dodge. Instead, like it jumped high, and then slapped its head straight with its front paw. The red-haired lion subconsciously used its front paw to resist. The two lions collided and wrestled in midair. The lion couldn't help but reveal a cruel smile. In its opinion, this young lion was useless except for being a little faster. But the lion was wrong. The next second, a huge force came from the front paw. The power of this young lion was even stronger than it. The red-haired lion was directly overturned to the ground, and Chen Mo mercilessly waved his claws again, attacking the lion's throat, eyes and other fatal parts. Soon, a bloody cut was torn under the red-haired lion's neck, and his face was even more horrible, and he had been severely injured. However, at the moment of life and death, the instinct for survival made the red-haired lion burst out with amazing potential. It kept struggling to stand up, and then waved its front paws, trying to seek a glimmer of hope. Facing the desperate counterattack of the red-haired lion, Chen Mo also had 2 claw marks on his back, but they were not fatal. Roar. At this time, another angry lion roar came from not far away. The roar of the red-haired lion naturally attracted its brothers and the 4 female lions of the lion group. They came over after hearing the sound, and then saw a young lion with hair that had not yet grown fully beating up the red-haired lion. The mother lion felt that the young lion seemed to be her child little cripple, but the huge size and powerful combat power made it dare not recognize it. Seeing the arrival of another male lion, Chen Mo did not intend to leave. The battle just now aroused the bloodiness and ferocity engraved in his genes and blood. He wanted to continue fighting. He wanted to defeat both male lions. Chapter 9 New King. Another lion among the lion brothers had 2 long claw marks on his face, which looked like scars, adding a bit of ferocity to it. Roar! Scarface roared and pounced without hesitation. Chenmo pawed the red-haired lion under him again, scratching its entire face with blood, and then ran away without any hesitation. The red-haired lion had basically lost its ability to fight, and Chenmo had a great chance of winning in a head-on battle with Scarface. But to be safe, Chenmo was still prepared to consume Scarface's physical strength first. However, before he ran a few steps, a scene that Chenmo did not expect appeared. Sister Lion Aisha actually rushed towards Scarface. It wanted to help Chenmo fight the lion together, even though its strength and size were far different from those of the lion. Seeing this scene, Chenmo was moved and inevitably a little angry. Sister Lion was purely here to make things worse. Without hesitation, Chenmo turned around and rushed towards the Scarface lion. Facing Elsa who was rushing towards him, the lion pounced on her cleanly and neatly. The power gap between the two sides was too great. However, just when it was about to bite the ignorant little lion to death, a powerful force came from the side of its body, and it was directly knocked away. Die! Chenmo's heart was burning with anger, and he used all his strength to swing his front paw and slap the scarred lion. At this time, the 2 energies lurking in his abdomen suddenly moved. I saw that these 2 energies were like boiling water, rushing towards Chenmo's claws quickly. The next moment, Chenmo felt that his front paw was full of power, and at the same time he saw a faint white light flashing on his claws. Fast. Too fast. With a blessing of the mysterious energy, the speed of the lion's claws falling was too fast, and the scarred lion had no time to react and dodge. Then the next second, the sharp claws easily cut through the belly of the scarred lion, like a sharp knife cutting through thin paper. Really? Disembowelment. What just happened? The power of this claw far exceeded Chenmo's expectations. The 2 energies in his body could actually allow him to burst out with such powerful power in an instant. Chenmo closed his eyes and felt it, and found that with the explosion just now, the 2 weak energies had disappeared without a trace. Seeing this scene, the red-haired male lion was immediately frightened and ran away. Even wandering in the grassland is better than facing this young lion. This young lion is so terrifying. So cruel. Looking at the red-haired male lion who was desperately fleeing, Chenmo chased it, pounced on it and bit off its neck. Kindness to the enemy is cruelty to oneself. Survival of the fittest is the law of this grassland. Roar. Accompanied by a childish but domineering lion roar, this announced that the throne of the Lion King has been replaced. This land has ushered in a new owner. Although its mane has not grown yet, its claws are sharp enough. A Wu sister lion walked in front of Chenmo and roared in a coquettish and self-blaming way. In the previous wave, it not only did not help, but it could even be said to be more of a hindrance. But when it saw its younger brother being besieged by 2 adult male lions, it was filled with anger and couldn't help wanting to fight alongside its younger brother. At this moment, it also truly realized how powerful its younger brother was. To single out 2 male lions and kill them all, this is already a well-deserved Lion King. A Wu Chenmo touched Sister Lion's head with his paw like petting a cat to comfort her. Elsa's fur feels very good, furry, and very comfortable to rub. At this moment, Chenmo no longer complained about Elsa in his heart, but was more moved. Sister Lion is courageous. A Wu Elsa looked at the scar on Chenmo's back and leaned over to lick it gently. Its saliva is the most primitive disinfectant. Roar soon, the mother lion and the other 3 female lions also surrounded them. The mother lion recognized Aisha and soon realized that the young lion that killed 2 male lions alone was her other child, Little Cripple. But she couldn't understand what happened to Little Cripple in the past month to make him so strong. Finally, the mother lion chose to give up thinking, lowered her head slightly, and crawled in front of Chenmo and the lion group. Strength is king. Little Cripple defeated the male lion brothers by himself, so he is the well-deserved Lion King. The other 3 female lions also crawled in front of Chenmo one after another. Looking at the 4 lionesses who surrendered to him, Chenmo was slightly embarrassed and speechless. According to convention, after the young male lion defeated the old Lion King, most of the original female lions in the lion group would choose to submit to the new Lion King. But the problem is among the 4 female lions who are now submitting to it, one is its mother and the other 3 are its godmother. But soon Chenmo stopped thinking about these. The most important thing now is to become stronger. Become stronger. With a title brought by the Self-Discipline Challenge, It can break through its own limits again and again and become a truly extraordinary creature. The white title and the green title are already so powerful, and the effect of the higher level title is simply unimaginable. Maybe one day, it can even evolve to the level of physical resistance to nuclear bombs. There are also the two mysterious energies that exploded in the body before. Shenmue also wants to eat meat to replenish them as soon as possible. This can be said to be its biggest first trump card at this stage. After returning to the Lion Group's territory, Shenmue began to jump. After completing the challenge of Observation Lion, the new entry for the self-discipline challenges, Fat House Happy Lion, green, drink 20 bottles of 300 milliliters or more of Coke every day for 1 month. When Shenmue saw this self-discipline challenge, he was actually a little confused. Insisting on drinking Coke every day, can this be considered self-discipline? And this is actually a green self-discipline challenge. I guess the effect is not bad. It's a pity that I can't complete it now. Since his rebirth, he has not seen a human. And even if he really encounters a human, Shenmue doesn't want to contact them now. As a former human, he knew that this creature was countless times more terrifying than wild animals. Shenmue now felt that he was very strong, but he did not think that he could withstand the baptism of gunfire and rain of bullets. If he found its abnormality, unless it died, there would be no peace. So after Shenmue tangled between the cleaning lion and the jumping lion, he finally chose the jumping lion. Just like the previous small steps, Shenmue's jumping self-discipline still adopted a lazy way. Each time it jumped, the height was very low, and it looked like it was shaking its head, as if it was dancing. Aisha and the lionesses on the side looked at Shenmue who was jumping, thought about it, and then joined the team. The lionesses knew that their Lion King was a little different from ordinary lions. Not only in age and size, but also in weird behavior. Before, it was small steps every day, and now it is jumping again. Could it be that this is some kind of special exercise method? Perhaps, this is why it can grow so quickly in just over a month? The lionesses had similar ideas in their hearts, so they chose to join. If a human saw this scene, they would be stunned. What? A group of lions dancing on the grassland? Chapter 10, Stinky Lion. Seeing the lionesses dancing with him, Shenmue felt inexplicably funny. Unfortunately, they don't have the golden finger of the self-discipline challenge, and these actions are not very helpful to them. But Shenmue couldn't communicate so complicatedly with the lionesses, so he had to let them follow him to be self-disciplined. It would be great if I could lead other lions to be self-disciplined together. In this way, they might be able to help me a lot, Shenmue couldn't help thinking in his heart. After completing the self-discipline challenge, Shenmue began to patrol the border of his territory. Now the border of his territory is about 20 kilometers. He needs to leave his own breath on the border of the territory by digging this oil and other special methods. These breaths can prevent other male lions and predators from offending easily, and at the same time protect the safety of the lionesses and cubs in the territory. This is not an easy task. Fortunately, because he eats a lot and the amount is large, he can barely mark it. With Shenmue's current strength, he can actually choose to expand his territory, but Shenmue just maintains the original territory of the Lion Group. He couldn't manage a territory that was too big. For him, as long as the food needs were guaranteed and he wasn't harassed by other predators, that was enough. Self-discipline is the foundation. Another week passed in the blink of an eye. After becoming the new Lion King of the Lion Group, Shenmue still disciplined himself every day and maintained his hunting habits. He couldn't eat enough food caught by the lioness. With sufficient food supply, although Shenmue's body size did not continue to grow, his strength increased by 1 point, and the mysterious energy consumed before was also replenished by 2. Before dawn, Shenmue had already started today's self-discipline. Today is the last day of the Jumping Lion self-discipline challenge, and it can't wait. After 1 hour, the progress bar of Jumping Lion on the panel finally reached 100%. Today's today's jumping self-discipline is completed. After Shenmue chose the title of equipment, Jumping Lion, the familiar electric shock spread from his limbs to his whole body. Then he began to observe himself. African Lion, male, level, low-level transcendent, constitution. 1012, agility. 1416, strength. 11, soul. 8, comprehensive combat power. 5092, the title of Jumping Lion, adds 2 points of agility and 2 points of constitution to it, which is not bad. In fact, Just looking at the attributes and comprehensive combat power, Shenmue can now roam the grassland. But it is not enough. If there are humans, his current strength is not enough. Shenmue took a look at the newly refreshed self-discipline challenge. Then he was stunned for a moment. Stinky fart lion, white, fart 30 times a day for a week. Fuck, Shenmue couldn't hold it anymore. Farting is also considered self-discipline? Keeping bad habits is also considered self-discipline? Before, Fat House Happy Lion asked it to drink Coke every day, which was outrageous enough, and now this one keeps farting every day is simply outrageous. Unless you use some kind of food that can promote farting, this self-discipline challenge will be impossible to complete. Shenmue had no choice but to choose the self-discipline challenge that was refreshed at the beginning, Cleaning Lion. Take a bath 3 times a day for 1 week, Cleaning Lion, the second day of the self-discipline challenge. In the evening, the 3 lionesses returned to the lion territory facing the sunset. Their eyes were a little lonely. This was the second consecutive day that they had nothing. The prey in the territory became less and less. It was not easy to meet a few black bucks, but they were noticed before they got close. Then these black bucks burst out at an amazing speed and quickly disappeared from their sight. For some reason, the black bucks in this territory have become very alert now. When they see them, they will run away for their lives. At this time, Elsa let out an excited roar. Following Elsa's gaze, the lionesses saw a strong figure appear on the distant horizon. So there was joy in their eyes. Their Lion King is back. Soon they saw that the Lion King was dragging half of a huge wildebeest, shining brightly under the setting sun. Roar Shenmue put the wildebeest down and ran to the shade of the tree to take a nap. He hunted 2 wildebeests and a hare today. He ate a wildebeest and a hare and brought the other half back. With Shenmue's current strength, he can completely abandon the lion group and live alone. It is the lion group that depends on him, not him. But Shenmue does not intend to abandon the current lion group. In addition to the help from the lion mother and lion sister when he was just reborn, it is more important because as a former human, he does not like loneliness. Like now, it is good to rub the lion when he has nothing to do. He did not have such an opportunity in his previous life. Enjoying the fresh blood, the lioness showed joy and excitement in her eyes. Shenmue was thinking about whether to migrate with the lion group. There are fewer and fewer prey in the lion group's territory, and these 2 wildebeests were hunted by him from the territory of other lions. It has not rained for a week. The rainy season with abundant food has passed, and now the most difficult dry season has arrived. There are only 2 seasons in the African grasslands: the dry season and the rainy season. The lack of water resources in the dry season caused many plants to die, forcing herbivores to migrate across the grasslands. In order to survive, carnivores have to migrate with them. It's time to find a new territory. Looking at the lionesses feasting, Shenmue thought silently in his heart. Roar. After the lionesses had a full meal, Shenmue let out a low roar to tell them the decision to migrate. After understanding Shenmue's meaning, the lion group naturally did not object. Cleaning Lion, Self-Discipline Challenge Day 3. Shenmue woke up very early. I don't know if it was his illusion, he felt that the temperature of the grassland seemed to drop several degrees at once. Shenmue didn't know the direction of the herbivores' migration. After communicating with the lion group, he let the lion group understand what he meant. So the lion mother took the initiative to lead the way. After confirming the direction, the lion group began the migration. After walking for most of the day, seeing that the lionesses could no longer walk, Shenmue found a sturdy tree and let them rest under the shade. He went to look for prey nearby. After 10 minutes, Shenmue stopped. Observing lions gives it extraordinary vision and can see creatures far away. At this moment, he found a pair of leopard mother and son on the grassland 5 kilometers away. The mother leopard was covered with black plum blossom spots all over her body, which looked very gorgeous. The little leopard next to it had black hair all over its body. This is a little black panther. The black panther is not an independent species, but a variant of the leopard's genetic mutation. At this moment, the 2 leopards, one big and one small, were both lying on their backs, and it was obvious that they had not eaten for a long time. Not far from them, there was a black buck that looked quite strange. Ordinary black bucks have reddish brown or golden hair, but this black buck's hair is white, as if it had albinism. In addition, compared to ordinary black impalas, this black impala is a little bigger, and the 2 sharp horns on its head are also as white as jade. This seems to be a mutant black impala? Chapter 11 Extraordinary Creatures. The starving leopard mother had obviously regarded this strange antelope as her hunting target. Chenmo followed behind them, ready to catch the mantis while the oriole waited behind. At the same time, he was quietly observing the strength of both sides. Observing the comprehensive combat power of various creatures on the grassland is one of the few pleasures Chenmo has had during this period. Leopard, level, ordinary, constitution. 4, agility. 10, strength. 5, soul. 4, comprehensive combat power. 1821, the information panel of the leopard is quite normal, but the information displayed by the mutant antelope made Chenmo stunned for a moment. Ice-horned antelope, level. This was the first time Chenmo had seen this. Only the race was displayed, and the level was 3 question marks, and the other information was completely unknown. Obviously, this creature called ice-horned antelope is a mutant creature, or even a supernatural creature. After thinking about it, Chenmo chose to continue observing secretly. The effect of observation lion is that the longer the observation time, the more detailed the information displayed by the observed object. Perhaps if we observe for a while longer, we can get more information. While Chenmo was observing, the leopard mother finally made her move. Her speed was as fast as lightning. In the blink of an eye, she had appeared next to the ice-horned antelope. With the kinetic energy brought by her speed, she directly knocked the ice-horned antelope down and bit its throat. However, the next second, the ice-horned antelope lying on the ground suddenly spit out a white icy breath. The leopard, who wanted to bite off the neck of the ice-horned antelope, was unprepared. In an instant, a thick layer of white frost appeared on its body. At the same time, the snowflakes in the breath cut the leopard's skin like a blade, leaving dozens of fine scars on its body. Seeing this scene, Chenmo was a little stunned. Antelope spitting frost? Before, he had always thought that he was reborn as a young lion in the African savanna of Blue Star, but the ice-horned antelope in front of him with a strong fantasy style made him raise a question in his heart: is he really still on Earth? While the leopard was scratched by the frost airflow, the ice antelope jumped high and tried to escape. As a herbivore, it had no idea about the leopard and did not want to kill it. However, the hungry leopard was unwilling to let go of the feast in front of it. It endured the pain of frostbite on its limbs and chased after it again. When the frost antelope and the leopard were fighting, Chenmo had been observing secretly. After about 30 seconds of observation, he finally got the information of this frost antelope, ice antelope, female, level, low level extraordinary, constitution. 7, agility. 9, strength. 4, soul. 10, comprehensive combat power. 1831, it's actually an extraordinary creature. But except for the soul, other attributes are much lower than mine. At this moment, the battle has entered its end. The female leopard was finally defeated by the ice antelope. After being hit by the frost, it spewed again. A layer of white frost appeared on her body and her limbs began to become stiff. Then its abdomen was pierced by the sharp horns of the ice antelope, and it died completely. In the last moment before death, the mother leopard looked at her child not far away. And there was some indescribable sadness in her brown eyes. Looking at the seriously injured ice antelope, Chenmo hesitated for a moment and then rushed out. Take advantage of its illness to kill it. Moreover, the strength and agility of this ice antelope are far inferior to his. As long as you pay attention to avoid its frost breath, it should not be difficult to hunt this ice antelope. The advantage is mine. Chenmo's breathing became hot, and his spirit became extremely excited. He entered a frenzy state, without hesitation. After the ice antelope, which was still resting, discovered Chenmo, it started to run away without saying a word. The ice antelope that had just killed the leopard never expected that a lion would come out from nowhere. Although this lion looks like a cub, its size is more exaggerated than that of an adult male lion. Can't afford to provoke. However, in the frenzy state, Chenmo's speed reached the extreme, much faster than that of a cheetah. In the blink of an eye, the ice-horned antelope found that the hateful lion was already in front of it. It subconsciously spit out more breath of frost in the direction of Chenmo, and a cone-shaped cold airflow wrapped with countless fine ice spikes swept towards Chenmo. However, Chenmo, who was in the frenzy state, had already been prepared in his heart. With an emergency stop, he easily avoided the attack range of the frosty airflow. Then Chenmo rushed towards the ice-horned antelope again, and 2 mysterious energies in its body burst out. The sharp claws cleanly cut through the abdomen of the ice-horned antelope, ending the killing. The lion fights the rabbit with all its strength. Facing this low-level extraordinary creature, Chenmo was not careless at all. He came up and attacked with all his strength, not giving it any chance. The ice horn antelope fell heavily to the ground, and a layer of white frost appeared on the surface of the green grass around its body. Surrounded by cold mist, its body's surface temperature could be seen. Looking at the body of the ice-horned antelope, Chenmo felt very strange. Even if this ice-horned antelope is an extraordinary creature, it should appear in cold places such as snow-capped mountains and ice fields, not here. This is unscientific. However, the emergence of self-discipline challenges and the ice-horned antelope itself are very unscientific. On the other side, after the ice-horned antelope died, the little black panther not far away trotted all the way to his mother, gently touched his mother's cold body with his claws, and uttered a cry of grief. It seemed to want to wake up his mother in this way. But its mother could never wake up again. The strong prey on the weak, and the fittest survive. This is the law of nature. Seeing the pitiful appearance of the little black panther, Chenmo couldn't help but think of himself who had just been reborn. It was slightly moved in its heart, but the deep green lion eyes remained cold. After thinking about it, Chenmo tore off a small piece of ice-horned antelope meat with his claws and threw it directly in front of the little leopard. This is not just pity. But Chenmo didn't know whether the flesh and blood of the ice-horned antelope was poisonous, so he wanted to let the little leopard try it first. If the little leopard didn't die, he was going to take it back to the lion group. If it died, it would die. After the mother leopard died, it had no ability to survive in the dangerous grassland. Chenmo was just letting it suffer less pain now. Seeing the Lion King coming towards him, the little black leopard trembled and kept backing away in fear. Until the Lion King in front of him suddenly threw a piece of ice-horned antelope meat to it. The hungry little black leopard hesitated for a moment, and finally ate it in big mouthfuls. The little leopard's milk teeth had just grown out, and it was a little difficult to eat meat. Chenmo waited patiently in place. During this period, hyenas, leopards and other predators came by smelling the blood. But facing this young and strong Lion King, they did not dare to take action. After wandering in the distance for a while, they finally left in disappointment. Chapter 12 Adopting a Little Black Panther. About half an hour later, the little leopard had only eaten less than 1 kilogram of ice antelope meat, and suddenly closed his eyes and fell asleep. Chenmo waited patiently for a while. Soon, the lionesses and Aisha came one after another, looking at the bodies of the ice antelope and leopard beside Chenmo, thinking that this was the prey that the Lion King had just killed. Seeing that the Lion King did not move his mouth, they also quietly surrounded Chenmo, like loyal guards. About half an hour later, Chenmo walked to the little black leopard, confirmed that its breathing was normal, and only fell asleep, and then began to enjoy the feast. The meat of the ice antelope was icy and cold, very tender and refreshing. It can be said that it was the most delicious meal Chenmo had eaten since his rebirth. And as he ate, Chenmo felt the blood in his body cheering. The feeling of rapid growth before was back. The effect of ice antelope meat was much better than it expected. It turned out that it was not that the Gluttonous Lion had reached its limit, but that ordinary meat had reached its limit in helping Chenmo. In addition, what surprised Chenmo even more was that as the ice-horned antelope's flesh and blood continued to digest, another extraordinary energy was born in its body. However, unlike the relatively mild extraordinary energy before, this extraordinary energy has a cold characteristic. Chenmo could clearly feel this icy energy lurking in its abdomen, causing its entire abdomen to be icy cold. Eat, 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 Gluttony Lion gave it an extraordinary digestive ability. Now Chenmo can eat 5 black bucks at a time, which is about the same weight as it. But he couldn't eat more than half of this ice-horned antelope. Then Chenmo began to observe his own changes. African lion, male, level, low-level extraordinary, constitution. 12, agility. 16, strength. 1112, soul. 8, comprehensive combat power. 5294, very good, a little more strength. More importantly, now he has 2 more ice-type extraordinary energies in his body. At critical moments, these 2 extraordinary energies can play a huge role. After thinking for a while, Chenmo tore off about 1/10 of the ice antelope meat with his claws and threw it to the lionesses and Aisha. This is not because Chenmo is stingy, but for the continuation and development of the entire lion group, it is more helpful for it to eat this meat. It plans to slowly enjoy the remaining ice antelope meat. Anyway, ice antelope meat has a refrigeration effect, and it will probably not rot or mold even if it is left for a few days. The lionesses have no objection to this distribution, and they even think that it is normal for the Lion King to enjoy all the food. Not long after, the little Black Panther woke up. Touching his mother's cold and stiff body, he knew that his mother would never wake up again. Seeing the timid little Black Panther, Chenmo walked over. Perhaps because of the gift of food before, the little Black Panther did not continue to retreat this time, but just looked at Chenmo with helpless and pitiful eyes. Chenmo picked up the little Black Panther and put it next to the relatively docile one among the 4 lionesses. He wanted this lioness to raise the little Black Panther. Chenmo watched quietly from the side. If the lioness wanted to attack the little Black Panther, then he would attack. The little Black Panther timidly called out to the lioness, not daring to get close, and looked at Chenmo again. It had developed a certain trust and dependence on Chenmo. The Lion King in front of it not only avenged it, but also gave it precious food. Fortunately, the lioness did not reject the little Black Panther. Instead, she showed a gentle expression on her face and took the initiative to bend down, as if she wanted the little Black Panther to come over to suckle. It had just lost its child not long ago, and it was a period when maternal love was more overflowing. The night sky of the grassland was clear and transparent, and the stars in the sky gathered into a waterfall, and the Milky Way seemed to be within reach. Chenmo looked up at the starry sky. But he couldn't help but feel an unspeakable loneliness in his heart. Now, he is neither a pure lion nor a pure human. He has the body of a lion, but he has the thoughts of a human. Previously, he thought that he might have the chance to return home after becoming stronger little by relying on self-discipline. However, the ice-horn antelope he suddenly encountered today proved that he was most likely no longer on the Blue Star. He might never go back to his hometown. Suddenly, Chenmo felt itchy on his back, as if something furry was rubbing against him. It was Elsa. The little lioness seemed to see the sadness in Chenmo's heart, so she came to Chenmo and stroked Chenmo's hair with her little head. Looking at the lion sister who seemed to be comforting him, Chenmo couldn't help but smile, so he didn't think about it anymore, lay on the grass, and slowly fell asleep. At noon the next day, Chenmo finally ate all the ice-horn antelope meat. These extraordinary flesh and blood increased his physical fitness and strength by 1 point, as well as 3 ice-type extraordinary energies. When he was halfway through swallowing, Chenmo found an ice blue crystal in the belly of the ice-horn antelope. This crystal is the size of a pebble, as clear as crystal. It seems to be surging with some kind of ice blue energy, emitting a dim glow. The moment he saw this ice blue crystal, Chenmo actually had an uncontrollable desire in his heart, and his body instinctively wanted to swallow it. Relying on his own will, Chenmo finally suppressed this desire in his heart. Who knows if there is any risk in swallowing this thing directly? He took a look at the ice blue crystal, and 2 lines of light blue small words appeared next to it. Ice-type extraordinary crystal, ultra small. It contains a trace amount of ice-type spiritual power. After eating or absorbing it, there is a small probability that it can make ordinary creatures evolve. Chenmo was slightly surprised. Before this, the effect of observation lion was only effective for living things, and flowers, plants and trees could not display the corresponding information. This time, the information of non-living things was observed for the first time. Maybe it was because this ice-type extraordinary crystal was extraordinary? As Chenmo observed for a longer time, he gradually obtained more information about this ice-type extraordinary crystal. Weight 4.2 g, level 1 resource, contains 9 ice spiritual powers, can slowly absorb ice spiritual energy within a radius of 5 meters to replenish itself. After swallowing, there is a 60% or more chance of completing extraordinary evolution, and 100% will not cause harm to oneself. Good stuff. When Chenmo knew that swallowing this ice extraordinary crystal would not endanger his life, he swallowed it without hesitation. In an instant, an extreme coldness began to spread from his mouth and spread to his whole body in an instant. To describe it in one sentence, that is, chilling to the heart, and the heart soaring, the powerful digestive ability given to him by Gluttonous Lion began to take effect, and the ice extraordinary crystal quickly turned into liquid like a melted ice cube, and then turned into the ice extraordinary energy that Chenmo was extremely familiar with. Or, ice spiritual power. It was exactly the same as the ice spiritual power that was born after it swallowed the ice-horn antelope meat before. This Ice-type extraordinary crystal contained a total of 9 Ice-type spiritual powers. These Ice-type spiritual powers and the 3 spiritual powers generated by the previous swallowing of the ice-horned antelope condensed together and turned into a small ice-blue ball the size of a red date, which finally sank in Chenmo's abdomen, a place similar to the Danshan. I have cultivated a demon pill. Chenmo couldn't help but think of some immortality novels he read in his previous life. Chapter 13, Frost Cub. Just when Chenmo thought it was over, the ice spirit power in the small ice pill suddenly burst out again, rushing towards his limbs like a torrent. Severe tingling pain came from all over his body. Under the effect of these extraordinary energies of the ice system, Chenmo felt that his bones, flesh, hair, cells and even genes were undergoing some earth-shaking changes. The severe pain lasted for about 10 minutes. When he opened his eyes again, Chenmo found that the world in front of him seemed to have become a little different. In addition to being clearer and seeing farther, Chenmo also saw some small blue light spots floating in the air. Is this ice spirit? Between his breaths, the ice pill in his body also breathed at a special frequency, and the small light spots floating around slowly approached its body, and then were captured and merged into the ice pill. Unfortunately, these ice spirits floating in the air are too weak. Even if tens of thousands of points are gathered together, I am afraid they cannot be condensed into complete ice spirit power. Chenmo's mind moved, and his related information slowly emerged. Frost Cub, male, level, low-level transcendent, constitution. 1318, agility. 1620, strength. 1217, soul. 816, ability. Ice Storm, comprehensive combat power. 104-180, his race has changed. Strength, agility, constitution and other attributes have been greatly improved, and the comprehensive combat power has almost doubled. Chenmo feels that his current state is better than ever. He realized that the ice-horned antelope should have swallowed this small ice energy crystal before evolving into a transcendent creature. However, the ice-horned antelope did not digest all the energy inside, so no ice pills were born in its body, and its combat power is not very strong. All the lionesses also felt a little unbelievable when they saw the changes in Chenmo. Chenmo's originally golden hair turned into a snow-white color, and his brown pupils turned into ice blue. In addition, substances similar to ice crystals grew between their Lion King's hair. These ice crystals are actually the prototype of scales. Of course, they can only serve as decoration now, making Chenmo look more like a king. Just when Chenmo finished condensing the ice pill, the gray-black frame of the Self-Discipline Challenge appeared in front of him again, with lines of text in the frame. Complete 5 self-discipline challenges, rich low-level extraordinary level, condensed demon pill, conditions met, unlock the self-discipline sharing function. You can publish a self-discipline challenge you have completed to other creatures. White. After the creature completes the self-discipline challenge, the effect of the self-discipline challenge is plus 10%. Currently accept self-discipline challenge creatures. 1. Acceptable self-discipline challenges. 1. I can actually share self-discipline challenges. Before, Chenmo thought it would be great if he could share some of the self-discipline challenge abilities with other creatures. After all, the lion sisters are too weak. And as time goes by, the gap between Chenmo and the other lions in the lion group will only get bigger and bigger, and the lion group will be less and less helpful to him. I didn't expect that after I was promoted to the extraordinary this time, I actually gained similar abilities. Unfortunately, there is only one person to share with. And Chenmo has naturally chosen a lion in his mind. He shared the self-discipline challenge with Sister Lion without hesitation. The self-discipline challenge he shared was, Gluttony Lion. Gluttony Lion can make Sister Lion grow up quickly, and her physique, strength and other aspects can be greatly improved. Only with a strong physique and the use of ice energy crystals can there be a higher survival rate and awakening success rate. Chenmo doesn't know how many creatures like the ice-horn antelope there are in this grassland. If he can get extraordinary crystals in the future, maybe he can help Sister Lion complete her awakening. Now, of course, he is trying his best to lay a good foundation for Sister Lion. In addition to the overall improvement of physical fitness, Chenmo found that he had awakened an ability similar to a skill, Ice Storm. He can control the ice spirit power in his body and create a small ice whirlwind. Chenmo tested the power of the new ability, Ice Storm, on the spot. Its power is much smaller than Chenmo imagined. The diameter of the ice storm created is less than 1 meter high. The release speed, movement speed, lethality and other aspects are not satisfactory. At present, it seems that it can only be used for sneak attacks. Of course, this may also be related to Shenmo's excessive frugality. Ice spiritual power is too precious. Shenmo only used one ice spiritual power to release Ice Storm. Even so, he still felt a little distressed. If more ice spiritual power is used to release Ice Storm, it should be able to cause greater lethality. However, the next second, a hint of surprise flashed in Shenmo's ice blue lion eyes. After consuming one ice spiritual power, the free ice spiritual power around him swarmed towards him. The ice pill in his body captured these ice spiritual powers at an astonishing speed to replenish the consumption just now. Just like airflow will flow from high pressure to low pressure, after releasing the ice pill is in a low pressure state, and the extraordinary energy from the outside world will quickly flow in until it is balanced again. Shenmo roughly estimated that one ice spiritual power may only take 10 minutes to recover. The next morning, Shenmo woke up from his sleep and found that the temperature around him had dropped by several degrees or even more than 10 degrees. For some unknown reason, the temperature of this grassland has been dropping sharply recently. This climate is extremely abnormal. Shenmo was going to take a shower first and complete the self-discipline challenge of cleaning lion. Just as he was about to get up, he found that Elsa was leaning against him, holding his body tightly with her two front paws. Judging from their size, they seemed not to be lion siblings, but the father and daughter of the Lion King. The weather suddenly turned cold. After Elsa fell asleep yesterday, she unconsciously came to Shenmo and wanted to hug each other for warmth. Because the temperature dropped sharply, the other four lionesses also snuggled together to keep each other warm. The little black panther curled up in the arms of the newly recognized godmother lioness. This lioness has completely regarded it as her own child, and is particularly tolerant and kind to the little black panther. Not only does she feed it every day, but whenever there is a possibility of danger, the lioness will protect the little black panther in front of her. After carefully pushing away Elsa's two lion paws, Shenmo set off. In addition to taking a shower, he wanted to stroll around the nearby area to see if he could encounter extraordinary creatures like ice horns. Although the noise of Shenmo's departure was very quiet, it still woke up Elsa and the four lionesses. Seeing the Lion King setting out to hunt early in the morning, the lionesses and Elsa couldn't help but feel a little ashamed. In other lion groups, it is the lionesses who go out hunting. Male lions need to maintain their physical strength at all times, and their duty is to guard the territory and drive out foreign enemies. Also before long, except for a lioness guarding Elsa and the little black panther, the other three lionesses also set out to hunt. Elsa wanted to go hunting with the lionesses, but was forced back by the lion mother. In the eyes of the lion mother, Shenmo is the Lion King, but Elsa is still a child. Chapter 14, Hyena Queen. After leaving the lion group, Shenmo quickly found two lone wildebeests with the amazing vision brought by Observation Lion. This is a herbivorous creature with slender limbs, a big head and a long snout, which looks like a cow. It usually appears in groups. With Shenmo's amazing speed and strength, their success rate of escape is almost zero. Perhaps, ordinary mortal creatures can no longer pose any threat to Shenmo without spending much energy. He successfully hunted the two wildebeests. Shenmo quickly ate one of the wildebeests, and then roared, trying to get the lionesses and Aisha to come over. Note, the roar of an ordinary lion can also be transmitted 8 kilometers away. For him now, the flesh and blood of ordinary creatures can no longer play any role. Only the flesh and blood of extraordinary creatures can promote the further strengthening of its body. Moreover, Sister Lion has now started the self-discipline challenge of Gluttonous Lion, and needs to eat 10 kilograms of meat every day. However, just as Shenmo was waiting for the lionesses to come, he suddenly turned around and looked at a place 5 kilometers away. A group of hyenas are rushing towards it quickly. Hyenas, also known as director of the anorectal department, are notorious bandits and robbers on the grassland. In addition to hunting for themselves, they prefer to rob other hunters' prey, and their attack methods are extremely obscene. The nickname director of the anorectal department can explain everything. However, under normal circumstances, hyenas dare not rob adult male lions of their prey. Male lions have the ability to kill them quickly. But this group of hyenas is obviously not an ordinary hyena. Shenmo saw that the hyena in the front was obviously a circle larger than the other hyenas. Its teeth were as crystal clear as ice crystals, and there were ice crystal spikes on its back. Obviously, this is also an extraordinary creature. Just as Shenmo was staring at the hyena group, the leading hyena queen naturally discovered Shenmo and the two spotted wildebeests that fell beside it. A white lion cub can actually kill two adult wildebeests? Although it feels a bit strange, the hyena queen did not take it to heart. Even if it is a real male lion, it is not afraid. The hyena queen now feels terribly strong. 3 days ago, the hyena group hunted a strange zebra. This zebra not only had a single horn on its head, but also condensed ice spikes to attack. But under the siege of the hyena group, it finally fell. While the hyenas were tasting the delicious zebra meat, a blue crystal suddenly appeared in the belly of the zebra. In an instant, all the hyenas gave up the food, and their instincts drove them to fight for the blue crystal and swallow it. Bang! Bang! However, after the first and second hyenas swallowed the blue crystal, they actually exploded on the spot and left no trace. But even so, the remaining hyenas still fought desperately for the blue crystal. In the end, the hyena queen successfully seized the blue crystal and swallowed it with her own flexibility and ferocity. After swallowing the blue crystal, the hyena queen found that she was not only much stronger, but also able to control the power of ice and snow, and her wisdom was greatly improved. Naturally, she became the queen of this group of hyenas. After becoming the queen, the hyena queen led the hyenas to start hunting crazily and expanding her territory crazily. Even the male lions that had to flee after seeing them before had been killed by her. So when they smelled the blood, they rushed over immediately, wanting to snatch the food and take the working lion as food. When the hyena queen led the hyenas to charge at Shenmo, the young lions, who had become prey in their eyes, were quietly observing it, with the cold light flashing in their ice blue lion eyes. Ice thorn hyena, level, low level extraordinary, constitution. 10, agility. 11, strength. 8, soul. 7, comprehensive combat power. 4256, ability, ice thorn. All attributes are lower than mine. As long as I'm careful, I should be able to take it down, Shenmo thought to himself, looking at the hyena queen rushing towards him, and he didn't even bother to move. When the distance between the lion and the dog was only 10 meters, the hyena queen jumped high and bit the lion cub. At the moment when the hyena queen launched the attack, the lion cub with snow-white hair in front of it also moved. The white lion cub also jumped up, and its speed was extremely fast, like a white lightning, and it appeared in front of the hyena queen in an instant. At this time, the hyena queen even remained in the air, and the next second, she was slapped by the white lion cub and flew more than 10 meters away. Boom! The powerful impact even caused severe damage to the hyena queen's internal organs. Before the hyena queen could react, the Lion King's attack followed, and its sharp claws directly tore a deep scar on its back that could be seen to the bone. In an instant, an unprecedented fear rose in the hyena queen's heart. It was afraid. It remembered the fear of being dominated by the male lion before. If it goes on like this, it will die. This is not a lion cub, but a lion king. Oh, it growled, urging other hyenas to launch a siege on the white lion king. Roar, roar. At this time, an angry roar of a lion came from not far away. The other 3 female lions of the lion group arrived one after another and attacked the hyena group angrily. At this time, Shenmo had already disemboweled the hyena queen. Although they were both low-level extraordinary creatures, the gap between the two sides was too big. This was not just a gap between races. The self-discipline challenge strengthened Shenmo's abilities in all aspects and turned him into a real hexagonal warrior. After killing the hyena queen, the other hyenas fled in all directions as if they had lost their backbone. Shenmo was too lazy to chase them, but just silently cut open the hyena queen's stomach, and sure enough, he found another small extraordinary energy crystal. The instinct of the body made Shenmo eager to swallow it. Shenmo restrained this desire and just put his claws on the crystal. The ice pill in his body began to absorb the ice spiritual power contained in it. This extraordinary crystal can automatically collect spiritual energy, and it would be a waste to eat it directly. And Aisha's current physique is not enough to complete the awakening. It will take at least 2 weeks for Elsa to complete the self-discipline challenge of the Gluttonous Lion and grow into a lion. During this period, Shenmo felt that it would definitely be able to hunt other extraordinary creatures. There are a total of 10 ice spiritual powers in this crystal. Shenmo absorbed them all without wasting a single bit. Now there are 22 ice spiritual powers in his ice pill. After completing the absorption, Chenmo observed this extraordinary crystal again. Ice extraordinary crystal, ultra small, level 1 resource, empty energy crystal, can slowly absorb ice spiritual energy within a radius of 5 meters to replenish itself. Based on the current spiritual energy concentration, it will take 1095 days to complete the charging. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 15 Aisha, brother, I really can't eat anymore. After absorbing the spiritual power of this extraordinary crystal, Chenmo lowered his head and began to devour the flesh and blood of the hyena queen. Ahem, Chenmo almost vomited after taking a bite. Hyena meat is really unpalatable, smelly and sour. Even for a lion's taste, hyena meat is the lowest of the lowest. But for the extraordinary energy contained in it, Chenmo still swallowed it in big mouthfuls 10 minutes later. The flesh and blood of the hyena queen entered Chenmo's stomach. This flesh and blood provided him with a total of 3 ice spiritual powers. In addition, under the effect of Gluttonous Lion, Chenmo gained another 1 point of strength, Frost Cub, male, level, low level extraordinary, 25 spirits, constitution, 18, agility, 20, strength, 1718, soul, 16, ability, Ice Storm, comprehensive combat power, 108-184. While Chenmo was eating the hyena queen's meat, the lionesses were enjoying the delicious spotted wildebeest. Soon, Sister Lion was full. She was about to find a place to take a nap, but she saw Chenmo suddenly walk towards her and tear off a large piece of wildebeest meat and put it in front of her. Roar, eat! Seeing that Sister Lion Aisha was about to go to bed after eating less than 3 kilograms of meat, Chenmo was naturally dissatisfied. This appetite is too small. Seeing her own lion brother put the meat in front of her, although she felt that she was full, Aisha still ate it with a grunt. In addition to her dependence and trust in her brother, Aisha did not want to disappoint her brother's kindness. After a long time, Aisha finally finished eating the wildebeest meat. Her belly had become round and full, and she burped one after another. So full. This may be the fullest I've ever eaten, Aisha couldn't help thinking in her heart. However, the next second, she saw the lion brother tear off another piece of wildebeest thigh meat and put it next to her. Aisha? I'm full, Aisha growled helplessly at her lion brother. Seeing that Aisha really couldn't eat anymore, Chenmo didn't force her, but just pointed at himself and the meat in front of Aisha. The meaning was obvious: want to be as strong as me? Then eat meat. Aisha's IQ was very high, and after understanding what Chenmo meant, her eyes lit up. In the past month, whenever Aisha enjoyed the food her brother brought back from hunting, she couldn't help but feel a little frustrated. They were all born from the same mother, why was her brother so good? She really wanted to help her lion brother and wanted to fight side by side with him. But she was too weak. Now there was an opportunity to become stronger in front of her. Aisha certainly didn't want to give up. Thinking of this, Aisha bit off another bite of meat and swallowed it. In the next 2 days, the lion group continued to migrate north. Aisha ate until she couldn't eat anymore every day, but except for feeling that she had become fatter, her strength did not improve much. It didn't doubt its lion brother, but just felt that it was too useless. Roar. Whenever this happened, Chenmo would always go over and touch the lion sister's head to show encouragement. It must be said that Elsa's hair was very soft and comfortable to touch. Chenmo already liked the feeling of rubbing the lion. The morning of the 3rd day of migration, Chenmo was awakened by the cold. He opened his eyes and suddenly found white feathers floating in the sky. It was snowing on this grassland near the equator. He stood up. Then it saw an even more horrifying scene. I saw that on the distant horizon, tall and majestic snow-capped mountains rose out of thin air. These continuous snow-capped mountains are extremely majestic and magnificent, reaching straight to the sky, like pillars of the sky. You know, this is a grassland. And last night, it was still a bare piece of flat land. This simply overturned his cognition. In addition, Chenmo could feel that there was an extremely rich and majestic ice-type spiritual power on the other side of the snow-capped mountain, which was almost transformed into substance. The closer to the Great Snow Mountain, the more intense the ice energy becomes. It's getting stronger. Shenmo took a deep breath, and after confirming that he was not dreaming, he felt a little confused. Is the spirit energy reviving? Or is this no longer a blue planet? Shenmo couldn't help but think of the strange phenomena in the grassland recently. The climate suddenly became cold, and the frequent appearance of extraordinary creatures with ice abilities. Perhaps it was all because of the continuous snow-capped mountains in front of him. Awu's sister lion and the 4 female lions had been awakened by the cold. They also discovered a great snow mountain, and they couldn't help but feel a little uneasy. Roar, but Shenmo's voice calmed their panicked hearts a lot. They believed that no matter what happened, their king would lead them to survive. Roar. After thinking for a while, Shenmo decided to turn around and lead the lion group to the east. That is, the direction of the Great Snow Mountain. As a former human, Shenmo can see many places that the female lions can't see. Drastic climate change will inevitably trigger a series of chain reactions. The grassland plants will die in a very short time, and then the herbivores without food will quickly starve to death, and then the carnivores. According to the current trend of dropping several degrees or even more than 10 degrees every day, it is very likely that this grassland will enter the Ice Age. Unless they can leave the area affected by the Great Snow Mountain and find a suitable territory for survival before the mass extinction of grassland creatures. Otherwise, they will definitely starve to death due to lack of food. But God knows how big the radiation range of this snow mountain is. Another reason is that Shenmo knows that the appearance of the Great Snow Mountain will inevitably attract the attention of humans. If there are humans in this world, he wants to find an opportunity to ambush and get more information about the Great Snow Mountain and this world from humans. By the way, see if there is a chance to complete the 2 self-discipline challenges of Fat House Happy Lion and Stinky Lion. In addition, the most important reason is that the Great Snow Mountain has extremely rich ice spiritual power, and it is likely to breed many extraordinary creatures. The appearance of the Great Snow Mountain and various extraordinary creatures made Shenmo feel a sense of crisis. Previously, he thought that he was reborn in the African savanna. With a golden finger of self-discipline and challenge, he would grow up little by little, and one day he would be able to climb to the top. But now it is not possible. In the environment with extremely rich ice spirit power, the extraordinary creatures near the Great Snow Mountain will probably grow at a very fast speed. The road to the extraordinary is like sailing against a current. If you don't move forward, you will fall behind. If he misses this feast, he will most likely become a meal for other creatures in the future. On the contrary, if he takes the initiative to hunt these extraordinary creatures, Shenmo can lead the lion group to grow rapidly. Chapter 16, Roaring Lion. Before heading to the snow mountain, Shenmo prepared to take a bath. Today is the last day of the Cleaning Lion self-discipline challenge. He came to a nearby pond and found that a thin layer of ice had formed on its surface. After breaking the ice, Shenmo went in and out, took 3 consecutive ice baths, and finally completed the last day of the Cleaning Lion self-discipline challenge. On the self-discipline panel, replacing the Cleaning Lion, is a self-discipline challenge called Roaring Lion. Roaring Lion, white. Make 1,000 roars of no less than 120 decibels every day for 7 days. Seeing the Roaring Lion refreshed on the panel, Shenmo couldn't help but breathe a sigh of relief. Finally, it's a self-discipline challenge that can be completed. If there are more strange self-discipline challenges like Stinky Lion and Fat House Happy Lion, he will be stuck. Shenmo equipped the Cleaning Lion and couldn't wait to try out the effect of this title. At the moment of equipping, all the dust and stains on Shenmo's body were shaken away by some mysterious force, and he instantly felt an unprecedented refreshing feeling. Although it is not a combat power title, the effect is pretty good. Shenmo was in a good mood. However, after returning to the lion group, he suddenly found that Aisha and the 4 female lions looked at him with a little more love. Especially one of the female lions called Xiaofang by Shenmo. The look in her eyes was almost drawing. She had always had a love for Shenmo, and under the effect of Cleaning Lion, this love was strengthened. Xiaofang trotted all the way to Shenmo's side, wanting to stick to her. Shenmo growled twice, and she left reluctantly. Shenmo instantly realized that in addition to keeping clean, Cleaning Lion also added a little charm to himself. Looking at the increasingly hungry eyes of the lionesses, Shenmo was so scared that he quickly cancelled the equipment of the Cleaning Lion entry. Although after being reborn as a lion, he thought these lionesses were also pretty. But as a former human, He still cannot accept developing a super friendly relationship with a lioness. Of course, Chenmo is quite satisfied with the succubus effect of cleaning lion. At some critical moments, it may play an unexpected effect. The Great Snow Mountain seems very close, but it is actually very far away. Chenmo led the lion group to walk for 2 days in a row, but he did not reach the foot of the Great Snow Mountain. The weather is getting colder and colder, and he often sees creatures frozen to death on the grassland. In addition, in these 2 days, Chenmo encountered 2 low-level extraordinary creatures, mutated jackals and baboons. However, their combined combat power did not exceed 30, which was not enough in front of Chenmo, and naturally became Chenmo's meal in the end. With a supply of extraordinary flesh and blood, Gluttonous Lion began to work, and Chenmo's body size began to surge again. In just 2 days, its weight increased by 40 kilograms, and its physical fitness also improved significantly. Unfortunately, these 2 extraordinary creatures did not have extraordinary crystals in their bodies. After eating their flesh and blood, it only increased 7 ice spiritual powers. At this moment, Chenmo's ice pillar already has 32 ice spiritual powers, and the highest comprehensive combat power has also exceeded 200 for the first time. The sun rises. It's a new day again. The heavy snow has been falling for 2 days in a row, and the grassland has completely turned into a snowfield. Because the weather is getting colder, Chenmo wakes up later and later in the morning. However, after waking up today, he found that the lion's sister Aisha was curled up with her eyes closed. Her body was trembling, and her face showed a painful expression, which looked very distressing. Chenmo was stunned for a moment, and then his eyes became solemn. Is this a fever? The drastic change in climate is indeed easy to cause a cold. Chenmo touched Aisha's body with his forefoot. Aisha's whole body was surprisingly cold, like a piece of black ice. As if smelling a familiar breath, Aisha subconsciously hugged Chenmo's forefoot. What's the situation? Chenmo was a little anxious. He is not in human society now, has no medicine, and can't find a doctor. He doesn't know how to deal with this situation. After thinking for a while, Chenmo looked at Aisha. He decided to use the ability of Observation Lion to check Aisha's current condition and see if there was any solution. Soon, Aisha's information appeared in front of him. African lion, female, level, ordinary, awakening, constitution. 3, 4, agility. 1, 4, strength. 2, 4, soul. 9, comprehensive combat power. 1. Aisha's various attributes showed that she was in an extremely weak state at the moment, and only the soul attribute was much higher than before. In addition, Chenmo also noticed that there was a note, awakening, in Aisha's level column. It turned out that she was not sick. She was awakening. Chenmo breathed a sigh of relief, and then an ray of blue light flashed in the lion's eyes, and it began to sense the ice-type extraordinary energy around it. At this moment, the ice-type extraordinary energy spots in the area of more than 10 meters in radius quickly rushed into Elsa's body like moths to flame. After learning that Elsa was not having a fever but awakening, Chenmo decided to take a day off and temporarily stop his pace towards the Great Snow Mountain. Roar! At the same time, Chenmo, who was guarding Elsa, began to roar in self-discipline, and the deafening roars of lions echoed in the snowfield for a long time. In the afternoon, Elsa finally woke up from her coma. It felt like it had a very long dream. The endless blizzard seemed to swallow it completely, and all its limbs lost consciousness due to the cold. Just when it thought it was going to die, its Lion King brother suddenly appeared in front of it and brought it a little warmth with his body. It was able to hold on. When Elsa opened her eyes, she saw her brother standing by her side guarding her. A strong feeling of emotion rose in her heart. Frost cub, female, level, low-level transcendent, constitution. 6, agility. 6, strength. 5, soul. 11, ability, ice eyes, comprehensive combat power. 3542, seeing that Aisha had successfully awakened and her abilities had been greatly improved, Chenmo was sincerely happy for her. Now, in addition to him, there is finally another capable fighter in the lion group. After waking up, Aisha excitedly lay down beside Chenmo and rubbed Chenmo with her furry head. At this moment, she did not act like a sister at all, but more like a child who was spoiled with her father. Chenmo stretched out his front paw and rubbed Aisha. Every time Aisha started to rub against him, it meant that she wanted to be touched. Before, Chenmo had rubbed Sister Lion several times like rubbing a cat. Perhaps because of her superb technique, Sister Lion gradually became addicted to being touched. Family affection does not degenerate, there is no heroine in this book, and no one changes. Thanks to the support of the Godfathers. Chapter 17 Frost Lion Territory, Battle of the Lion King. Perhaps because she was being rubbed so comfortably, Elsa unconsciously closed her eyes, with an expression of enjoyment on her face. The hair has become smoother and feels much better, Chenmo thought. At this moment, Elsa's appearance has changed a lot. Not only has her hair turned snow white like Chenmo, but her pupils have also turned ice blue, like the purest sapphire, but there is no ice crystal like crystal armor on her body. The lion mother who watched her two children become white lions was a little confused. Could it be that I still have the genes of a white lion? After rubbing the big cat for a while, Chenmo threw a wildebeest that he had not finished eating yesterday in front of Elsa. Today is the last day for Elsa to carry out the self-discipline challenge of Gluttonous Lion. Elsa's sudden coma before made Chenmo think that this self-discipline challenge would be in vain, but fortunately she woke up in the end. Now that Elsa has awakened to the extraordinary, coupled with the comprehensive improvement of physical fitness by Gluttonous Lion, she will surely grow up soon. Roar, feeling the powerful force surging in her body at this moment, Elsa was extremely excited. Sure enough, the lion brother did not lie to her. Eating meat can make you stronger. The previous efforts finally ushered in the harvest at this moment. Roar, this is just the beginning, Chenmo shook his head. Elsa's self-awakening was beyond his expectations. He originally wanted Elsa to try awakening after obtaining the Gluttonous Lion. Unexpectedly, Sister Lion was so competitive that she awakened on her own. Elsa, who was about to eat, heard the low roar of the lion brother and her eyes were stunned for a moment. The brother seemed to be saying, "This is just a beginning?" Elsa had never felt that she could understand the meaning of the lion brother's roar so clearly. The roars between lions can only roughly express each other's emotions at the moment in some simple language, but now she seems to understand the specific meaning of the brother's roar. After waking up, she seems to have become smarter. Roar, will I become stronger? Elsa asked in a low roar. Hearing Elsa's roar, Chenmo was also stunned. He could understand the meaning of Aisha's roar, and it was as if he was communicating with a person. After awakening to the extraordinary, did his wisdom and lion language level also improve? This made him a little excited. In the past 2 months, Chenmo has been in a state of no communication. Although he is in a lion group, he is still only. Unconsciously, the emotions that belong to humans in his soul have been erased a lot. Aisha, whose intelligence has been greatly improved after awakening, brought a great surprise to Chenmo. Roar, yes, let's eat meat first. Chenmo nodded, roared, and then pointed to the wildebeest in front of Aisha that had not been eaten. Roar awakening consumed a lot of nutrients in Aisha's body. She was already hungry, so she began to swallow the delicious wildebeest meat without caring about her image. When Aisha felt that she had eaten too much, she suddenly found that the food she swallowed was being digested by her body at an astonishing speed. At the same time, she could clearly feel that as the meat was digested, her strength, burst and other abilities were getting stronger. Aisha couldn't help but roar excitedly. Roar, it seems that you succeeded. From now on, as long as you keep eating, your strength will continue to grow. Chenmo glanced at the self-discipline panel and found that Elsa had indeed completed the self-discipline challenge of Gluttonous Lion, and the effect of the Gluttonous Lion he equipped was increased by 10%. Elsa rubbed Chenmo's body in a somewhat intimate way. It knew that the changes that had taken place in its body must have been inseparable from the help of its brother. Roar, after Elsa was full, Chenmo asked it what ability it had awakened. After a creature achieves extraordinary success, it seems that it will awaken a special ability. For example, his ice storm, the ice spikes of the hyena queen, and Elsa's ice eyes. I'll try, Elsa replied. It began to mobilize the ice spirit power in its body. This ability was like its instinct, and it was easily displayed. The next second, a trace of blue light flashed in Elsa's ice blue pupils, and then she found that her field of vision was rapidly expanding, and she saw a big tree more than 10 kilometers away. Elsa wanted to test her limits and see a farther place. However, before he could try, the blue light in its eyes flickered like a light bulb with poor contact. Soon it completely dissipated. Elsa had just awakened, and the ice spirit power in her body was too thin, so it was used up all at once. Roar, see farther, can penetrate some thinner objects. Elsa stumbled in lion language to explain the effect of ice eyes to Chenmo. For Elsa, who had just entered lion language, this was still a bit too difficult. Roar, not bad, Chenmo praised. Farsightedness plus a little penetration. As the strength increases, this will be a very practical ability. Then he began to think about the reason why Elsa awakened on her own this time, wondering if it could be replicated in other lionesses. Elsa's own talent? Or being in an area with rich ice spirit power for a long time? Or eating the flesh and blood of extraordinary creatures, or let the other lionesses eat some flesh and blood of extraordinary creatures to see if it can help them awaken. Roaring Lion, Self-Discipline Challenge Day 4. The lion group finally arrived in front of the Great Snow Mountain. However, Chenmo discovered that this continuous snow-capped mountain that pierced the sky was actually suspended above the grassland. Moreover, these majestic snow-capped mountains looked like a mirage, hazy and illusory. He could even pass through the snow-capped mountains and see the grassland covered with snow below. Is it just an illusion? But the ice-type spiritual power here is indeed much richer, Chenmo roughly felt it. If the spiritual energy concentration where they were before was 1, then the foot of the snow-capped mountain was 5, or even higher. Roar, at this time, Aisha suddenly let out a low roar, and its ice blue eyes emitted a blue light, obviously activating the ability of Ice Eyes. Aisha smelled the smell of other male lions on the ground under her feet, so she used her ice eyes to see the situation. Sure enough, on the grassland about 10 kilometers away, Aisha saw a male lion running towards them. Aisha explained the situation to Chenmo as soon as possible. Roar, no hurry, wait for them to come. In fact, Chenmo had smelled the smell of other male lions on this grassland a long time ago. They have entered the territory of other lion groups. But Chenmo doesn't care now. It has extremely exaggerated vision and speed, and can detect other creatures and obtain relevant information from 10 kilometers away. Soon, a white figure appeared in Chenmo's field of vision. This is a male lion with white mane, and there are more than a dozen female lions behind it. Obviously, it is the Lion King of this territory. Dear Godfathers, I will update twice a day during the new book period. The first chapter is at 12 noon, and the second chapter is at 6 p.m. In addition, it is very important to follow the new book during the new book period, which directly affects the recommendation and promotion of a book, so please help the Godfathers who like to read books to click on the latest chapter, and then scroll to the bottom. Thank you very much. Chapter 18 Surrender or Die. Frost Lion, Male, Level, Low-Level Transcendent, Constitution. 16, Agility. 11, Strength. 12, Soul. 12, Ability, Ice Condensation, Comprehensive Combat Strength. 76-102, Judging from the panel, the strength of this male lion is not weak. It can be said to be the strongest transcendent creature Chenmo has encountered so far. Obviously, this frost lion has also hunted many transcendent creatures after awakening, devoured the flesh and blood of many transcendent creatures, and expanded its territory to an exaggerated range. However, there is still a big gap with Chenmo, whose highest comprehensive combat strength exceeds 200. Soon, the white-haired frost lion stopped more than 100 meters away from Chenmo. After evolving into a transcendent creature, the frost lion's sense of danger and improved wisdom prevented it from acting rashly. Although the white-haired lion cub opposite looks like a lion cub, its body size is extremely exaggerated. The shoulder height is nearly 2 meters, and the body length is nearly 4 meters. It is even bigger than it. Moreover, it actually felt an unprecedented sense of oppression and threat from this young lion. Since the frost lion swallowed a mysterious ice fruit more than a month ago and awakened its extraordinary power, it has never encountered such a terrible opponent. Roar, get out of here, a powerful roar sounded. After awakening the extraordinary, the frost lion can naturally communicate in simple lion language. It now only wants to expel this foreign lion from its territory. Because it is not sure of winning, it dare not easily go to war with the Lion King in front of it, who looks like a young lion. The Lion King on the opposite side did not answer. But this is the best answer. Seeing that the Lion King on the opposite side completely ignored it, the frost lion could not help but feel a little angry. It felt that it had lost face in front of the lioness. In order to maintain its territory and also to defend its dignity, it finally charged at Chenmo. Roar. The frost lion jumped high, and the lion claws wrapped in 1,000 pounds of power slapped the frost young lion fiercely. Although it has become extraordinary, Its fighting style has not changed. However, the attack that was sure to win was dodged by the Frost Lion cub. The Frost Lion cub burst out with a speed that was completely inconsistent with its huge body. Then, before the Frost Lion could react, it suddenly felt a huge force coming from its back. The moment the Frost Lion attacked, Shenmue entered the furious form, and the moment he dodged, he came behind the Frost Lion, gathered the ice energy in his front paw, and swung it heavily. Dodge, jump, swing claws, the whole action was done in one go. The powerful force directly slapped the Frost Lion away, and it rolled several times on the snow. Roar. Seeing that their Lion King husband was at a disadvantage, most of the lionesses in the Frost Lion group roared angrily and rushed up to help. They were ready to beat up the Lion King on the opposite side. These lionesses were the original wives of the Frost Lion, and basically they had cubs with a Lion King. In order to protect their children, they naturally did not want their Lion King husband to lose. Roar. Aisha and several other lionesses roared and rushed out as well. I saw Aisha rushing to a lioness and sending her flying. Then, frost appeared on her claws and she severely injured another lioness. Aisha is now in a stage where her size, strength, speed and other aspects have grown significantly. Under the effect of Gluttonous Lion, in just 4 days, her size has grown a circle and is not much different from an adult lioness. In the past 2 days, some medium and large prey encountered by the lion group were hunted by Aisha alone. From the initial unfamiliarity that caused the prey to escape to the later ease, Aisha's growth rate is amazing. Now ordinary low-level extraordinary creatures are not her opponents. On the other side, before the Frost Lion could recover, the attacks of the Frost Lion cubs followed one after another, and the sharp claws shone with blue light. The Frost Lion quickly activated the ability it had awakened, Ice Condensation. A row of half-meter-high ice spikes spread around it. As long as the Lion King on the opposite side dared to pounce on it, it would be pierced. However, the next second, a powerful ice storm suddenly rose with it as the center, and the violent ice wind actually tore the ice spikes directly into pieces. In order to quickly subdue the Frost Lion, Shenmue used his full strength to cast the ice storm for the first time, consuming 10 ice spiritual powers. Bang! Shenmue threw the Frost Lion to the ground, suppressed it under his body with absolute power, and then let out a deafening roar. Roar, submit, or die. Feeling the power that completely crushed him, the Frost Lion felt a breath of death for the first time. Roar, it knew that if it dared to continue to resist, the Lion King in front of it would definitely bite its throat without hesitation. Just like it treated other extraordinary creatures before. In the end, the Frost Lion roared and chose to surrender. With its initial spiritual wisdom, it wanted to live more than other creatures. With the sound of the Frost Lion's surrender, the resistance of the lioness also ended. They stood in front of their children and looked at Shenmue with fear. As a defeated lion group, according to convention, their children will be killed. However, the new Lion King only glanced at them, and then released the front paw that was suppressing the Frost Lion. The Frost Lion quickly stood up, and then subconsciously took a few steps back. It looked at the Frost Cub, and its eyes were full of fear. Finally, it lowered its head and waited for the judgment of the Frost Cub. Was it expelled? Or was it killed? Roar, you can continue to stay in this territory, and I will not harm your wife and children. In exchange, you need to hunt one extraordinary creature for me every 2 days, Shenmue roared. He didn't want to kill this Frost Lion, but wanted to recruit it. The ice spirit here is rich. Shenmue plans to stay here for a while, and naturally he has to establish his own territory. But with him and the current lion group, it is not enough to manage too large a territory, and the best way is to expand the lion group. Grab the territory of other lion kings and let them work for you. This is also the reason why Shenmue is unwilling to leave even though he knows that this is the territory of other lion kings. And there is another reason for not killing this Frost Lion. Shenmue doesn't want to eat the flesh and blood of his own kind. Even if this can enhance strength. Roar, hearing Shenmue's response, the Frost Lion felt unbelievable. The Lion King in front of him was so generous. Seeing that the Frost Lion cub had no intention of killing him, it once again expressed its submission and gratitude to him. Roar, King, thank you for your kindness. Roar, you don't have a name yet? From now on, you will be called Xiongba. Seeing that the Frost Lion in front of him looked quite domineering, Shenmue casually named him. Roar, the Frost Lion nodded. Although it didn't understand the meaning of the name at the moment, it inexplicably felt that the name seemed quite cool. Chapter 19 Awakening. After taming the frost lions, Chenmo settled down near the Great Snow Mountain illusion. In order to improve his strength, he started hunting crazily again. In just 2 days, he and the lion group hunted 13 extraordinary creatures. Chenmo hunted 10 of them by himself. He often acts alone. With his supervision and speed, any extraordinary creature that appears in his sight cannot escape. It must be said that there are indeed many more extraordinary creatures near and inside the Great Snow Mountain than in the outer area. In addition to those who awaken spontaneously near the Great Snow Mountain, there are many extraordinary creatures from farther areas like Chenmo, who also began to approach the Great Snow Mountain. They may not have as many as Chenmo thought, but the instinct to become stronger still drives them here. Unfortunately, no extraordinary crystals appeared in the bodies of these autonomously awakened extraordinary creatures. Among Chenmo's 10 prey, only 2 exploded crystals. After eating the flesh and blood of these extraordinary creatures and the ice energy contained in the energy crystals, Chenmo's body began to grow again. With a body length of nearly 5 meters and a shoulder height of 2.4 meters, other female lions would look like cats in front of it. You should know that the body length of an ordinary adult male lion is only 2 meters. In addition, the fragments of ice crystal armor on Chenmo's body became harder and harder, and the hardness and sharpness of his claws also reached a higher level. More importantly, there were 42 more ice spiritual powers in his ice pill. Now there are 68 ice spiritual powers. Chenmo has a hunch that when the number of ice spiritual powers reaches 100, there may be a qualitative change. Roaring Lion Challenge Day 5. Evening. Roar, King, this is the food for the next 2 days. Frost Lion Xiong beheld an ice-horned antelope that he had hunted not long ago and gently placed it in front of Chenmo. To be honest, he was actually quite reluctant to part with this ice-horned antelope. The flesh and blood of extraordinary creatures can make it stronger. But in order to stay here, Xiongba chose to hand it over. At the beginning, Xiongba did have the idea of escaping and leaving this territory. But it still couldn't bear to leave its wife and children. The new Lion King not only did not occupy its harem, but also did not embarrass its offspring. Once it leaves here, it will have nothing. In addition, Xiongba is more afraid of encountering a powerful existence like the Frost Lion cub after leaving the territory. After being defeated by Chenmo, it completely changed from an expanded lion to a cowardly lion. It seems to be pretty good like now. It's just that it's too painful for the lion to hand over a supernatural creature every 2 days. Looking at the respectful Frost Lion Xiongba, Chenmo nodded calmly, and then growled, "Roar, take it back. Share it with your wife and children, and don't give up the supernatural creature this time. This is an ice-horn antelope that awakened on its own. There is no supernatural crystal in its body, so it can't provide Chenmo with too much spiritual power and improvement. It's better to use it to help other female lions awaken." His experience as a human in his previous life made him understand that for the followers who just surrendered to him, he must use both kindness and force to make them loyal to him. Hearing this, Xiongba's eyes widened, somewhat incredulous. Such a big extraordinary creature, is it given to him? You know, the flesh and blood of extraordinary creatures are not only very delicious, but also can make other extraordinary creatures stronger. Suddenly, Xiongba felt an inexplicable touch in his heart. As an extraordinary creature that has just been born with intelligence, its mind is actually quite simple. Roar, thank you, kind king. At this moment, it has already regarded Chenmo as the real Lion King in its heart. Roaring Lion Challenge Day 6. Early in the morning, after Chenmo completed the daily self-discipline of Roaring Lion, he left the territory and started hunting. After running on the snowfield for nearly 30 minutes, he came to the snowfield under the illusion of the Great Snow Mountain. The probability of extraordinary creatures appearing here is very high. Soon, he saw a white giraffe with frost blue spots 7 kilometers away. The comprehensive combat power of this frost-spotted giraffe is as high as 105-110, which is a little stronger than Xiongba. But it was still no match for Chenmo. It soon fell to the ground under the howling of the ice storm and the claws of the ice lion and fell into eternal sleep. Chenmo swallowed the flesh and blood of the frost-spotted giraffe in big mouthfuls. The digestive organs in his body quickly decomposed the flesh and blood into various nutrients and ice-type spiritual power, like melting. However, the size of this frost-spotted giraffe was too big. He was full after eating a small half. Then he took a look at his current attribute panel: Frost Cub, Male, Level, Low Level Transcendent, Constitution. 26. Agility. 26. Strength. 25. Soul. 18. Ability. Ice Storm. Comprehensive combat power. 180-262. The basic attributes have almost stopped growing. It seems that the effect of the Gluttonous Lion has reached its limit again. It can only continue to grow if it swallows the flesh and blood of a higher-level transcendent creature, Chenmo thought silently in his heart. But so far, the creature with the highest degree of evolution he has seen is himself. If he wants to become stronger, he can only challenge himself or break through the transcendent level. Chenmo brought the remaining meat of the frosted giraffe back to the lion group, gave half to Aisha and the lion mother, and then divided part of it to other lionesses and cubs. Seeing the Lion King returning with a full load, all the lionesses showed joy. After the new Lion King took office, they not only did not starve, but even ate more and better food than before. The meat of extraordinary creatures was previously monopolized by their husband, the ice lion Zionba. This also led to a trace of admiration in their eyes when they looked at the new Lion King, in addition to fear, respect, and gratitude. Admiration for the strong is the nature of living things. In the animal world, it is even more obvious 15 minutes later. Just as the lion group was feasting, the lion mother suddenly let out a wail. Roar. After eating a piece of frosted giraffe meat, it suddenly felt cold all over its body. A bone-chilling cold invaded it, and the pain made it unable to help but wail. Chenmo took a look and found that the mother lion was indeed in the awakening state, so he asked the other female lions to keep her warm. Then, wailing sounds came from the lion group one after another. 2 more female lions in the lion group awakened. They were 2 of the ones who followed him at the beginning. Chenmo was very pleased about this. This roughly proves that his idea is correct. Devouring the flesh and blood of extraordinary creatures can indeed increase the possibility of becoming an extraordinary creature. What surprised Chenmo even more was that the little black panther Luna, whom he adopted out of softness, also entered the awakening state. At night, the mother lion, the female lions and Luna woke up one after another. The mother lion also turned into a white lion, and at the same time awakened the ability of ice breath. This made it very excited. Before, seeing that her 2 children had begun to develop abnormally, the mother lion almost doubted that the lion had given birth. Why can my 3-month-old child grow so big? The strength can be so strong. And now, it has finally embarked on this extraordinary road. Chapter 20, Sky Curtain Ice Spider, An Existence Beyond the Ordinary. The awakened abilities of the 2 lionesses are, Ice Claws. It's not a very outstanding ability, after all, attaching ice spiritual power to the claws can also have a similar effect. The awakened ability of the little black panther Luna is, Ice Wings. It can use ice spiritual power to transform into a pair of wings and gain the power of flying. Unfortunately, the ice energy in the little guy's body is pitifully low, and the transformed frost wings can only last for less than 5 seconds. The flight distance is about 20 meters. It's still the kind of flying close to the ground. Because flying too high, it's easy to run out of spiritual power and fall to death directly. Even so, this ability makes Chenmo a little envious. Flying can gain a wider field of view, which is of great help to reconnaissance, combat, and escape. As for the problem of not lasting, it will be solved when the ice spiritual power in the body grows. It would be great if the self-discipline challenge can swipe out a flying lion, Chenmo couldn't help thinking. Just as he was looking at the little black panther Luna daydreaming, Luna was also secretly observing the Lion King father. After awakening, the little guy's intelligence naturally gained enlightenment. It was more and more grateful to the Lion King, and felt lucky for itself. If it hadn't met the Lion King, it would have become a dry skeleton on the vast snowfield. The Lion King's help and adoption made Luna silently regard the Lion King as her father. It hoped that one day it could repay the Lion King. Unfortunately, it is still too weak now. Leopard, you have to work hard. Looking at the starry sky, the little black panther thought silently in his heart. Roaring Lion Day 7. Early morning. Ice Lion territory. Roar. Chenmo roared loudly early in the morning and started the last day of the self-discipline challenge. A day's plan begins in the morning. The Frost Lion Pride has become accustomed to the abnormal behavior of the new Lion King, and even like the previous female lions, there are many imitators. At the same time, about 40 kilometers away from the lion group, on the grassland, 4 military vehicles and an off-road truck were driving fast on the snow-covered grassland. Each off-road vehicle was filled with soldiers armed with live ammunition. They were dark-skinned and wore dark green uniforms. This was a unit from the Tanzanian military. In the back of the off-road truck, in addition to the soldiers, there were 2 huge iron cages. In one of the iron cages, a white mouse the size of a house cat was curled up. It was obviously also an extraordinary creature, but at this moment it was injected with a large amount of anesthetic and was in a coma. In the front car. "Sir, we are about to enter the snowfield inside the Great Snow Mountain." The dark and thin young soldier sitting in the co-pilot seat fiddled with the drone controller in his hand while reporting to the officer in the back row. "The wind and snow ahead are too strong, and the detection range of the drone is seriously affected. At present, it can only detect the area 250 meters ahead at most. The speed should not be too fast, Lao Wang. Drive slower." Hearing this, a bald officer in the back row who was a little fat said to the driver. He was the highest officer of this team. It is worth mentioning that the language they used to talk was Chinese. Because their military instructors are Dongsha people, they not only communicate in Dongsha language, but everyone has their own Dongsha name. Soon, the off-road vehicle hit the snow mountain and drove directly into the snow mountain. These continuous snow mountains are like mirages, an illusory existence. "Sir, the snow mountain above our heads will not suddenly come down, right?" the young soldier operating the drone asked worriedly. "Don't worry, according to the experience of other countries, it will take a long time for the big snow mountain to officially come. Don't think too much, our mission this time is to capture as many extraordinary creatures as possible." The fat officer sitting in the back row comforted him, and then began to skillfully draw a big cake to everyone through the intercom. "Dear soldiers, cheer up. Colonel Cullum said that as long as you capture a supernatural creature, everyone can get a reward of 5 million shillings, about 13,540 RMB. In addition, I will report to the superiors for the soldiers who performed well in this operation. Promotion is not a dream." Hearing this, the soldier's eyes became hot. Roar! At this time, the fat commander suddenly heard a faint lion roar. Because of the distance and the sound of the car engine, the lion roar seemed very slight. "Lao Wang, Sankey, did you hear it?" the fat commander hurriedly asked the driver and the young soldier. "I heard it, sir. It sounds like a lion roar. Quick, drive in that direction." The fat commander's originally calm face showed a joyful expression. They have now entered the interior of the Great Snow Mountain. The creatures that appear here are most likely extraordinary creatures. When this hunting team quickly moved towards Chenmo, Chenmo naturally saw this human army with his super long-range vision. "Brother, hey? So I am most likely still on Blue Star." This is the first time Chenmo has seen humans since his rebirth. Seeing the fully armed soldiers, he thought about it and prepared to slip away first. His current body cannot completely resist bullets, although it is difficult for guns to aim at him at his current speed. But after a round of concentrated fire, I am afraid that he will be crippled if not dead. But if he ran away directly now, the lion group would most likely encounter this Black Brother army. Although there is a great chance of winning if he fights humans directly, Chenmo does not want his newly developed lion group to be consumed in such a meaningless battle. After thinking about it, Chenmo decided to lead this group of humans away alone. Anyway, he is very fast now and can run at a speed of 150 kilometers per hour for a long time. These off-road vehicles can't catch up with him at all. Just treat it as a morning run, and continue the self-discipline of roaring lion. By the way, roar, Chenmo asked the lion group not to move in the territory, and ran out by himself. Roar, he roared while running deep into the Great Snow Mountain. He planned to lead this team to the depths of the Great Snow Mountain illusion, where there are many extraordinary creatures. If he encounters them, he can still fight wild. 30 minutes later, the convoy chasing along the roar of the lion can still hear the roar of the lion in front. But he just didn't catch up. If they hadn't seen the lion's paw prints on the snow, they would have thought they had seen a ghost. "Strange, this lion can run too fast," the fat officer muttered, but he was getting more and more excited. This kind of physical strength proved that this was not an ordinary lion. After running deep into the snowy mountains for half an hour, Chenmo suddenly stopped. Because he saw a giant beast 10 kilometers away. This was an extremely huge spider, crystal clear all over, as if it was carved from crystal, shining brightly under the reflection of the sun. It was as tall as a 4-story building, and even Chenmo now looked quite petite when standing in front of it. Sky Curtain Ice Spider, Level, Comprehensive Combat Strength. Chapter 21 Miracle Medicine. Chenmo observed the sky curtain ice spider for a full 2 minutes, but he still knew nothing about it except its name. Obviously, this giant beast named Sky Curtain Ice Spider was much stronger than him. If the spiritual energy has just begun to revive, how can such a strong, extraordinary creature appear at this stage? Chenmo was shocked. He thought that if all the creatures on this grassland had just embarked on the road of evolution, he would definitely be in the first echelon or even the top. The appearance of this giant beast in front of him undoubtedly doubled his sense of crisis. Fortunately, the Sky Curtain Ice Spider did not wake up at this time. In addition, Chenmo saw a huge ice crystal snow lotus behind the Sky Curtain Ice Spider. This snow lotus is similar to the ice spider. It looks transparent like pure crystal and emits colorful light under the refraction of sunlight. The powerful spiritual power contained in it can be clearly felt by Chenmo, who is 10 kilometers away. To be on the safe side, Chenmo did not continue to approach the Sky Curtain Ice Spider, but turned around and ran to a nearby gully to hide. At the same time, he did not forget to use the ice storm to blow up the flying snow and cover up the footprints he left behind. This place is hundreds of kilometers away from the lion group, and it is difficult for these humans to find the lion group's traces. After thinking about it, Chenmo decided to wait and see. If the convoy continues to move forward, they are likely to encounter the Sky Curtain Ice Spider. He wants to see whether the human thermal weapons are more powerful or the unknown spider beast is better. Of course, if the human convoy chooses to return the same way after finding no trace of him, then he will leave. Soon, the convoy came to the place where Chenmo had stopped before. The roar of the lion and the footprints all stopped here. Some soldiers got off the cart to check the situation, but no more clues were found. Keep going. After thinking for a while, the fat commander decided to keep going. They are here. However, this hunting team is completely unaware that their every move is in the eyes of the ice lion that almost merges with the snow not far away 10 minutes later. The convoy is less than 800 meters away from the ice spider. Looking at the images taken by the drone, the dark and thin soldier Sankey stammered, "Captain, we found the target. But do we really want to capture it?" This was the first time in his life that he saw such a huge and terrifying supernatural creature, just like the Godzilla monster in the movie. He couldn't help but retreat in his heart. Would ordinary bullets really work on this big guy? What a big spider! The fat commander was also scared. He didn't find a lion, but a giant spider. Unfortunately, supernatural creatures of this size are no longer something they can deal with. However, the next second, the fat commander saw the ice crystal snow lotus behind the giant ice spider, and his eyes lit up. Compared with the soldiers under his command, he knew more about the resurrection of spiritual energy. He knew that in addition to supernatural creatures, various supernatural magic medicines also appeared after the resurrection of spiritual energy. If humans can obtain these magic medicines, then they have a great chance of obtaining supernatural powers, and it is not impossible to become those superheroes in the movies. And the snow lotus in front of him must be this kind of magic medicine that can awaken supernatural powers in humans. If he could really get this snow lotus, it would be worth it even if his entire company died here. That spider seems to be sleeping, it's worth a try, the fat commander thought to himself, and then conveyed the order through the intercom: keep moving, Team 1, put anesthetic spray 50 meters away from the spider monster. Attack with anesthetic guns at the same time. At the same time, Team 2 drives to load the snow lotus into the truck. Move immediately after completion. Remember, the target of this mission is not this big guy. It's the snow lotus behind it. Got it, sir, the soldiers answered in unison. After hearing that the target this time was not the spider monster, everyone breathed a sigh of relief. Soon, the convoy was only 50 meters away from the spider monster. At this moment, everyone intuitively felt the horror of the spider monster. It was like a hill, lying in front of them, and all the soldiers felt the incomparable sense of oppression. This is the fear from the depths of the soul. Fire. Following the fat commander's order, more than a dozen soldiers pressed the trigger at the same time, and several soldiers controlled the drone to drop anesthetic bullets filled with anesthetic spray. Swish. More than a dozen anesthetic needles were shot at the giant spider beast. Each anesthetic needle contained a special anesthetic, the amount of which could even make an elephant unconscious instantly. This was specially prepared for this hunting mission. However, just when the anesthetic needle was about to hit the sky spider, the 8 ice blue compound eyes of the sky spider opened at the same time. It seemed to have sensed the human attack and woke up. The next second, An invisible wall seemed to appear in front of the giant spider, and all the anesthetic bullets were suspended in midair, unable to move forward. The anesthetic spray was also isolated outside and had no effect on the giant spider. Seeing this scene, all the soldiers quickly changed their rifles and began to focus fire on the giant spider. Dang dang dang. Countless bullets poured out, but they were all blocked by the invisible wall, and only sporadic sparks burst out, causing no damage to the sky spider at all. The next second, the spider monster swung one of its diamond-like forelimbs in the air, and then the two SUVs in front and the humans on them were cut in half like tofu. It was cut horizontally. The remaining soldiers were frightened and ran to the SUV in a panic, trying to escape. But the spider monster's forelimb swung in the air again, and another SUV was cut into countless pieces as if it was cut by the sharpest blade. Only the SUV farthest from the sky spider, that is, the leading vehicle, stepped on the accelerator to the bottom after realizing that the situation was not good, and was able to escape. The sky curtain-eyed spider seemed too lazy to chase the SUV, and did not get up, but just glanced at the direction where Shenmo was. As if it had discovered something interesting, a terrifying smile appeared at the corner of its mouth, and then the 8 blue jade-like compound eyes slowly closed again. In the distance, Shenmo, who had a panoramic view of the battle, was extremely shocked. This sky curtain-eyed spider is too powerful, isn't it? The human army is simply vulnerable in front of it. Then he looked at the only SUV that escaped, thinking in his heart, maybe this is a good opportunity. So he ran quickly, ready to run in both directions with the off-road vehicle. I actually encountered a boundary guardian. After finally escaping from the dead, the fat commander was sweating profusely, and it took a while for him to finally ease his inner fear. The moment the spider beast stood up, he saw a huge bronze door under the spider beast. In an instant, the fat commander remembered the information in a top-secret file and realized how terrifying the spider beast was. So he immediately asked the driver Lao Wang to turn around and run away, and he escaped. Fortunately, the boundary guardians have their own range of activities, and they will not be killed as long as they leave that area. Otherwise, 100 lives would not be enough to die. At this moment, the fat commander had no idea about the ice crystal snow lotus, and he just hurried to escape from this terrible place. However, things did not go as he wished. In the vast wind and snow, he saw a white giant lion standing on the grassland in front of him, as if it had been waiting for him for a long time. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 22 Captive. Just out of the dragon's den, into the tiger's den. The fat officer couldn't help but think of this Dongsha idiom, and he wanted to cry but had no tears. This ghost place is too scary. There are so many powerful extraordinary creatures. The giant lion in front of him is more than 2 meters tall, twice as tall as an ordinary lion. What's more terrifying is that this guy looks like just a young lion. Its hair is snow white, and there are fragments of blue ice crystals between its claws. It looks mighty and domineering. Looking at another giant beast in front of him, the young soldier Sankey was already scared silly. Could these giant beasts be the extraordinary creatures they want to capture this time? Fire, the fat officer gave the order tremblingly. It's too late to escape now. Under the threat of death, Sankey overcame his psychological fear and took out his pistol. However, just as he was about to shoot, the white giant lion in his field of vision suddenly disappeared. The next second, Sankey felt a cold wind blowing towards him. The white lion has come to the side of the off-road vehicle. Its speed is too fast. Bang! Then a powerful force hit the off-road vehicle from the side, directly knocking the off-road vehicle sideways for several meters. The driver, Lao Wang, stepped on the brakes quickly. The out-of-control off-road vehicle spun several times on the snowfield before finally stopping. The fat officer with a bloody head struggled to escape from the off-road vehicle. However, before he took 2 steps, he saw a huge head and a bloody mouth. So the fat officer chose to faint cleanly. Ah! Fainted? Am I so scary? Looking at the fainted Hijak, Shenmo couldn't help but be speechless. With his psychological quality, you still want to hunt extraordinary creatures on the snowfield? Seeing the huge white lion slowly approaching, the driver Lao Wang and the young soldier Sankey, who did not get off the car at the first time, were trembling with fear. Sankey trembled and wanted to pick up the pistol that fell on the ground, but saw the giant white lion directly tear the car door away with its claws, and then threw the two people on the snow like chickens. Roar! The white lion roared again, and the two men were scared out of their wits. Looking at the white lion getting closer and closer, the two men closed their eyes in despair, waiting for death to come. Then they felt the claws of the white lion moving around on their bodies. Soon, Chenmo searched the two black men. He did not find any other weapons, but took out two mobile phones from their trouser pockets. Roar! Huawei's. Chenmo was stunned when he saw the patterns on the two black mobile phones. Seeing the human expression on the white lion's face, the two men instantly realized that the white lion in front of them was intelligent. So the next second, the two men began to kneel down and beg for mercy. Lion God, spare my life, Lord Ice Lion, please let me go. Although they felt that the Lion King in front of them might not understand human words, they should be able to feel their strong desire to survive. They want to live. Listening to the familiar begging for mercy, Chenmo's face was strange. Good guy. You have learned all this. What's the situation with these two black guys? Not only do they speak Chinese, they use Huawei mobile phones, and they even learn to beg for mercy. After thinking about it, Chenmo used his claws to write a few Chinese characters on the snow: be obedient and live. Seeing the white lion riding on the snow, the two of them were stunned for a moment, their eyes were shocked and almost stagnant, and their worldview collapsed at this moment. Has the world become so magical now? After the awakening of the lions in the wild, they even learned Chinese without a teacher. But this undoubtedly ignited the flame of survival in their hearts. Don't kill me, Lord Lion King, I'm super obedient. If you tell me to go east, I will never go west. Drive, follow me. Chenmo wrote 5 Chinese characters on the snow. This place is not safe. Chenmo is going to go back to the lion group first. Squeak! At this time, a squeak suddenly came from not far away. Chenmo looked towards the sound and saw a small white mouse that looked a bit like a ferret. Ice crystal rat. Level, low level transcendent. Physique. 2, agility. 11, strength. 1, soul. 14, comprehensive combat strength. 12, with a thought, the information of this little white mouse was clear. This might be the transcendent creature with the lowest comprehensive combat strength that Chenmo has seen so far. Moreover, this ice crystal rat is very biased in one subject. Its speed and soul are good, but its physique and strength are really pitifully low. Squeak! The ice crystal rat kept squeaking, with a fearful look in its eyes, and its small claws kept gesturing. Obviously, this ice crystal rat was the one that was captured by the hunting team before. It was locked in the iron cage of the off-road truck. In fact, it had woken up a long time ago, but it was just pretending to be anesthetized. The cage that imprisoned it before, along with the off-road truck, was split into 2 by the sky curtain ice spider, and the ice crystal rat took the opportunity to escape. It fled all the way, and then just happened to witness the scene of Chenmo overturning the off-road vehicle. The moment it saw this ice lion, it had the idea of surrendering. After the birth of spiritual intelligence, the ice crystal mouse has seen many killings between extraordinary creatures. In order to become more powerful, extraordinary creatures are hostile to each other, and often fight to the death when they meet. Even the herbivores that were once relatively docile have become extremely brutal. The poor mouse has poor innate attributes, resulting in its combat power being the weakest even after awakening to the extraordinary. It is always the one being hunted, although it can always escape with its impressive speed. But soon it realized that it needed to find a backer. The awakened ability of the ice crystal mouse is extraordinary perception, which can roughly sense the strength of extraordinary creatures and the spiritual power hidden in their bodies. This ice lion is the strongest spiritual beast it has seen since it awakened. Of course, except for the giant spider beast, it dare not sense the spiritual power hidden in the spider beast. Powerful, handsome, mighty, and reliable. As for whether it will eat it directly, a handsome lion with such a high appearance should not do such a thing, right? Moreover, the ice crystal rat was very confident in its speed. If this handsome lion pounced on it, it would just run away. Chenmo could not understand the rat language, but he roughly understood what the little white rat meant. This little guy seemed to come to him for help. It was the first time he encountered a supernatural creature that took the initiative to come to him. I can only say, this ice crystal rat in front of him has a good vision, and the awakened ability of the ice crystal rat is called supernatural perception, which seems to be quite useful. Roar, welcome. I will call you Ziobe from now on. Chenmo stretched out his front paws towards the little white rat. Squeak. The ice crystal rat naturally did not understand the lion language, but felt a goodwill expressed by the Lion King. The little guy showed excitement in his eyes, ran over in a flash, and then bowed to the Lion King in a pilgrimage posture. Squeak, praise you, powerful Lion King. Chapter 23, Guardian. 1 hour later, Chenmo returned to the lion's territory with 3 humans and ice crystal rats. Roar, great king, you actually captured 3 humans. Frost Lion Xiongba walked towards the 3 people while flattering them skillfully. Roar, Xiongba roared at the 3 people. It does not like humans, and can even be said to hate them. One of its spouses was once shot and killed by humans. At this time, the fat officer who was scared to death by Chenmo just woke up in the car. Then he saw a lion face that was more ferocious and terrifying than before coming towards him. Ah! The fat officer screamed and fainted again after scoring twice. Seeing the ferocious face of the Frost Lion, the other 2 soldiers couldn't help but feel that Chenmo next to them became much friendlier and more friendly. In fact, whether from the perspective of human aesthetics or lion aesthetics, Chenmo's appearance can be scored 10 points. Whether it is the snow-white hair, the sapphire-like ice crystals on the chest between the claws, or the smooth body curves and explosive muscles. Roar, you go down first. I want to interrogate them, Chenmo roared at Xiongba. He was a little worried that Xiongba, who looked a little rough, would scare the other 2 black guys to faint. Although Frost Lion Xiongba didn't understand the specific meaning of the word interrogation, he nodded and silently retreated back to the lion group, guarding not far from the Lion King. Who are you? Chenmo rode on the snow and communicated with the remaining 2 soldiers. The main purpose of his risky attack and capture of humans this time was to learn more about this world. We are from the army in Tanzania. After the Great Snow Mountain appeared, our superiors asked us to come here to hunt extraordinary creatures for research. The young soldier Sankey answered intermittently. How many teams like yours are there? As for hunting teams, the number is probably more than 20, Sankey replied. He has gradually recovered from the shock and fear. Lend me your hand. Chenmo rode on the snow again, then took out the flower mobile phone, held the black man's right hand with his lion claws, and controlled one of his fingers to type on the screen. Chenmo's claws were too big to type at all. Sankey dared not move, watching the Lion King control his fingers to slide on the screen, sweating profusely. This world is too crazy. What Chenmo wanted to check was mainly the background and pattern of the current world, as well as information about the revival of spiritual energy and extraordinary creatures. Because of the second-hand operation, it was very good to be able to type half of the 10 words correctly, which wasted a lot of time. There was no way. Ordinary mobile phones were too small for the current Lion King. I must get a tablet when I have the chance in the future, and I have to get the one with the largest screen, Chenmo thought. After a difficult operation, he finally found the information he wanted. Good news, he is still on Earth. The location is Serengeti National Park in Tanzania, Africa. The time is 2035. Although his rebirth as a lion was only a matter of a moment, in fact, 10 years have passed. Bad news. A year ago, all parts of the world entered version 2.0, the era of spiritual energy revival. Strange phenomena like the Great Snow Mountain that appeared out of thin air have occurred all over the world. A year ago, a primeval forest stretching for hundreds of thousands of square kilometers suddenly appeared in Yunnan, Dongsha State, and even covered many cities. Half a month ago, a giant lake appeared in the Egyptian desert, and 3 months ago, 3 cities in North America were covered and buried by yellow sand. Humans call these phenomena ancient secrets. The Great Snow Mountain that now appears over the African savanna is the 12th ancient secret that has appeared. These ancient secrets will bring huge changes to the nearby ecology. For example, the Great Snow Mountain secret realm caused the original African savanna temperature to drop below 0 degrees, and the goose feathers and heavy snow continued. This is just a sign that the secret is about to come. About 2 months after the ancient secret realm appears, it will completely descend on the blue star, and at that time it will completely cover the original landform. In addition, along with the ancient secret realm, there is also a special energy that cannot be seen by the naked eye or instruments. Extraordinary energy. It is also called spiritual power. Supernatural creatures are creatures that possess supernatural powers. There are two main types of supernatural creatures. One is the native creatures of Blue Star, which awaken by eating treasures such as energy crystals or by themselves. Many supernatural creatures have been bred in the current Great Snow Mountain. Another type is the indigenous people in the ancient secret realm, who sleep in the secret realm for a long time. They will only wake up when the secret realm officially descends into the real world. Now the Great Snow Mountain secret realm has not completely descended, so the supernatural creatures that Shenmo has encountered are still local creatures. But what the hell is that sky curtain ice spider? It doesn't look like a newly awakened supernatural life at all, Shenmo thought silently in his heart, and then slowly wrote a line of Chinese characters on the snow with his claws, and then looked at the black guy. How much do you know about that spider monster? This. I don't know much either, Sankey said in a panic, as if he was worried that the Lion King in front of him would not believe him, and he hurriedly said, but our commander may know. Shenmo nodded, did not embarrass him, but asked some other questions to deepen his understanding of this world. 10 minutes later, the fat commander woke up slowly. He hoped that the previous experience was just a dream, but after waking up and seeing the familiar lion face, he wanted to faint again. I ask, you answer. Otherwise, die. Shenmo wrote Chinese characters on the snow. Seeing the ice lion writing Chinese, the fat commander patted his head and felt that he was probably hallucinating. Commander, tell us quickly. As long as we tell the truth, the Lion King will definitely let us go. Seeing the fat commander look scared, Sankey said hurriedly. Shenmo couldn't help but look at him. This black guy is a talent. After realizing that the ice lion had wisdom, the fat commander's desire to survive was rekindled. His expression instantly became flattering, and he replied, Lord Lion King, I don't know much. I only know that the spider beast is not a supernatural creature from our world, but comes from the ancient secret realm. After saying that, he paused and did not continue. Seeing the fat commander suddenly pause, Shenmo slowly walked towards him. Lord Lion King, if I tell you everything, can you spare my life? Shenmo did not speak, but just looked at the fat commander expressionlessly, with cold lion eyes. I'll tell you. Beads of sweat oozed from the fat commander's forehead. He knew that he had no room for bargaining, so he quickly said, they are called boundary guardians. Before almost every ancient secret realm descends, there will be more than 2 boundary guardians. These boundary guardians guard the entrance to the world inside the ancient secret realm. Any life that wants to go to the inner world will be ruthlessly killed by them. Under the threat of death, the fat commander told everything he knew. At the same time, he felt extremely regretful. If he had known that the giant spider was a guardian, he would never have thought of attacking it. Chapter 24, Go to the supermarket to get some Coke. The inner world. The guardian. These two terms were unfamiliar to Shenmo. He wanted to ask for more relevant information, but the fat commander shook his head. I don't know what's in the inner world. I only know that Dongsha once bribed the guardian of the iron-eating beast in the Green City Forest with magical oriental food, and then entered the inner world of the Green City Forest in advance. They should have found rare treasures or extraordinary inheritances in it, so now the number of Dongsha extraordinary people far exceeds that of other countries, and they also have a lot of secret knowledge about the revival of spiritual energy. When talking about the deeds of Dongsha, the fat commander looked proud and looked honored. As for the guardian, I only know that it is a terrifying existence that cannot be killed by nuclear bombs. The United States once used a nuclear bomb to kill a guardian, but it only caused minor injuries to it in the end. It even caused large-scale casualties in the army because of angering this guardian. However, although these guardians are extremely powerful, they can only act within a certain range. Hearing the fat commander say that the sky curtain ice spider has regional restrictions, Shenmo breathed a sigh of relief. It seems that before the Great Snow Mountain completely descends, as long as I don't provoke the guardian, I should still be safe. The newly awakened extraordinary creature should not be his opponents. What is the snow lotus behind the sky curtain ice spider? Shenmo asked again with his lion claws. I don't know what treasure it is, but it is definitely an extremely precious divine medicine, the fat officer answered with a little excitement. Shenmo drew a question mark with his claws. Lord Lion King, the information about the divine medicine is all in this document. Please see. After entering the password on his mobile phone, the fat officer opened a top-secret document. After confirming that the ice lion in front of him has wisdom and can communicate, the fat officer became extremely attentive. As long as he shows his value, this ice lion should not attack him. Gain trust first, and then find a chance to escape. Chen Mo began to read the document about the divine medicine. The document mentioned that in addition to extraordinary creatures, there are also divine medicines that suddenly appeared on the blue planet with the ancient secret realm. These are some flowers, plants, fruits, and strange crystals with magical powers. They can make ordinary animals, plants or humans gain extraordinary powers and achieve extraordinary achievements. Medicines that can communicate with gods are called magic medicines. The locations where these magic medicines appear are completely random and the number is extremely rare. Some cases are also mentioned in the document. Half a year ago, the second ancient secret realm, Flame Mountain, appeared in the Kunlun province of Dongsha. Someone in a nearby town picked up and swallowed a red fruit on the roadside. After eating it, he actually gained the ability to manipulate fire. Now this person has become the captain of a team of awakeners in Dongsha. Humans who have just awakened are not strong. They can only simply spray water, spit fire, or condense water into ice with their hands. But after training, or eating the flesh and blood of extraordinary creatures and magic medicines, their abilities will continue to increase. The Shining Rabbit King, which currently occupies 1/3 of Australia's territory, was once an ordinary wild rabbit. It rose little by little after eating some mysterious fruit. In addition to hunting extraordinary creatures, the main task of a team like ours is to find magic medicines, the fat officer said. Since there are magic medicines here, haven't other countries sent people to look for them? Chen Mo is still more worried about Dongsha, the United States and other powerful countries. The first secret realm had already descended on Dongsha a year ago. God knows what kind of strength the strong men on Blue Star have now. Not to mention the hot weapons mastered by these big countries. Those big countries don't have time to take care of this place now, the fat officer laughed. The quality of the magic medicine that appeared before the ancient secret realm descended was not too high. Only after the secret realm descended will higher quality magic medicine appear. Now the ancient secret realm in those countries has officially descended, and many high-quality magic medicines have appeared. The intelligent extraordinary creatures born in Blue Star, the extraordinary races awakened in the secret realm, humans, awakeners and other forces have been fighting for these magic medicines. How can they have time to take care of this place? As for other countries in Africa, they will send some hunting teams like us to enter the Great Snow Mountain to search. Chen Mo nodded. In this way, he controlled the curly-haired brother's fingers to search for information on the mobile phone while asking the three people. 1 hour later, Chen Mo had a general understanding of the current world background and situation. His ice blue lion eyes revealed determination. Now the world has entered an era of spiritual revival and the rise of the extraordinary. In this era, countless lives are destined to rise, and countless lives will die in this catastrophe. Reborn as a lion, and having obtained the golden finger of self-discipline challenge, he naturally refuses to be mediocre. Climbs step by step until he reaches the top. While the secret realm of the Great Snow Mountain has not yet completely arrived, I must become stronger as soon as possible and prepare for the arrival of the secret realm of the Great Snow Mountain, Chen Mo thought in his heart. As for the way to become stronger. First, steadily complete the self-discipline challenge and obtain more titles. Second, hunt other extraordinary creatures in the area near the Great Snow Mountain, find magic medicine, and improve your own extraordinary level. Third, establish your own power and cultivate more extraordinary creatures with special abilities. Chen Mo already had some ideas in his mind. After roughly understanding the changes in the world, Chen Mo controlled the black man's hand again, downloaded a low German map, and then searched for nearby supermarkets. He was going to go to the human supermarket to buy some goods. First, complete the 2 weird self-discipline challenges of Fat House Happy Lion and Stinky Lion. This is also one of the reasons why Chen Mo attacked the lone human team. Soon, the result appeared on the screen. The nearest supermarket is 58 kilometers away. This distance is not far. After thinking for a while, Chen Mo wrote another line of words on the snow in front of the black guy. Go to the supermarket with me and buy 30 boxes of Coke and 10 boxes of milk. Milk can make you fart. Chen Mo was going to let the black guy drive an off-road vehicle to take him to the supermarket for shopping. Although he was not as greedy and afraid of death as the fat commander, this guy understood his situation better and was relatively easier to control. Looking at this line of words, Sankey felt the magic of the real world again. A lion actually forced him to buy milk and Coke? Is there anything more crazy than this? Okay, Lord Lion. But the next second he nodded without hesitation, fearing that if he answered slowly, the cruel lion would kill him directly. But Lord Lion, I don't have that much money, Sankey said a little embarrassedly. Coke and milk were considered luxuries in his eyes. His monthly salary was only 400,000 shillings, about 1,100 RMB, and after deducting daily expenses, there was not much left every month. Lord Lion, let me go with you. I have money. The fat officer felt that his chance had come, so he took the initiative to speak. Give him all your money, Chen Mo wrote without question. He didn't care about the feelings of the other two. He just wanted to get enough Coke and milk as soon as possible and then complete the self-discipline challenge. The fat officer wanted to say something, but after seeing the cold eyes of the Lion King, he still shrank back from the heart. Chapter 25, Building Lion. Chen Mo returned to the lion group and briefly explained a few words to Xiongba and Aisha. Roar, I'm going to go out for about half a day. Once you find other human convoys, you will lead the lion group to evacuate. There are more than 20 hunting teams led by the fat commander. At this stage, he does not want to be exposed to the human vision. Sloppy development, don't waste time. Roar. Aisha rubbed Chen Mo's head and wanted to go with her, but was rejected. Roar, you stay here and protect the safety of the lion group. If these two humans want to escape or have abnormal behavior, just kill them. After explaining, he asked the black guy to start the car and set off. On the way, Chen Mo glanced at the self-discipline panel. Roaring Lion, 821, 1000, 6/7. Today is the last day of the Roaring Lion Self-Discipline Challenge. He only needs 179 roars to get the title. So Chen Mo started running and roaring all the way. Listening to the deafening roar of the lion beside him, Sanchi, who was driving nearby, felt sweaty. No, is this Lion King sick? He had to run and roar at the same time, which almost scared him to have a heart attack. Fortunately, after approaching the town, the Lion King seemed to be worried about being discovered by humans, and finally stopped roaring wildly. Roaring Lion Self-Discipline Challenge has been completed. Do you want to equip the title? The self-discipline panel popped up light blue text. Chen Mo resisted the urge to test it in his heart. What if the lion roar is too powerful and the black guy is directly shocked to death? It would be bad. I'd better wait until I come back and find other extraordinary creatures to practice. Chen Mo looked at another newly refreshed self-discipline challenge on the panel. Building Lion, Green. Build a lion cave of more than 10 square meters that can accommodate a family of 3 every day for 1 month. Seeing this self-discipline challenge, Chen Mo's mouth twitched. In his previous life, he was a college student majoring in civil engineering, and one of his future career directions is construction engineer. I didn't expect that after being reborn as a lion, he would have to build a house. However, this self-discipline challenge is still a bit difficult for Chen Mo now. He is now on a snowy grassland. If he wants to build a cave, he can only dig the soil and dig a hole. And this seems to be a title that is more about life. Its effect may also be related to building a house, and it cannot substantially help Chen Mo's combat power. In addition, this is a green challenge, and it takes too long to be self-disciplined for a month. Let's see if we can complete Fat House Happy Lion. First, all the way was peaceful. During this period, Chen Mo discovered several extraordinary creatures with his amazing eyesight, but he didn't go hunting because business was important. Roar, when they were still 500 meters away from the supermarket, Chen Mo asked the black guy to stop the car. He came in front of Sankey and controlled the black guy's right hand to type a line of words on the screen. You go by, I'll wait for you here. Chen Mo's current body shape and appearance are too special. As long as he appears in the human field of vision, it will inevitably cause a huge sensation. He doesn't want to attract human attention now, so he can only let the black guy serve, in addition to milk and cola. You can also buy some food and daily necessities that you want to buy. Chen Mo typed again. Thank you, Lord Lion, don't be clever. Roar. Xiao obey. Follow him. With a roar, a white figure emerged from Chen Mo's side. It was the little white mouse with Snow White fur. Before leaving, the little guy also followed. Thinking of its agility of 11 points, Chen Mo agreed. Now it is just right to supervise the black guy to prevent him from escaping or passing on information. Lord Lion, then I'm going to buy something, Sankey asked softly. Roar. Chen Mo nodded. Maybe due to the weather or the illusion of the snowy mountain, there were few people around the supermarket. Chen Mo's ice blue eyes stared at the black guy who entered the supermarket. Although Shenmue couldn't see his figure after entering the supermarket, he could see the attribute bar of Comprehensive Combat Power 2 next to him. So once he showed signs of escaping, Shenmue would be able to find it immediately. In fact, it is risky to let the black guy go to buy Coke and milk alone. If he takes the opportunity to blend into the crowd and escape or leave the supermarket, Shenmue will have to catch up with him and kill him. Although he will also expose himself to the human vision, Shenmue will never let go of the betrayer. In this case, he can only randomly catch a passerby and ask him to help drive the Coke and milk back to the Lion Group. 20 bottles a day for 30 days, Shenmue must prepare at least 600 bottles of Coke. This amount of Coke, he can't take it back alone. Shenmue's lion eyes stared at the attribute bar. He can only hope that the black guy can be honest now. Fortunately, the black guy's attribute panel has been in the supermarket. About 10 minutes later, he began to carry boxes of Coke and milk into the car one by one, and stopped only when the trunk and back seat were filled. In addition, the black guy also bought some clothes and daily necessities for 3 people. He should realize that the Lion King will not let them leave. What Shenmue didn't expect was that he actually bought a folding grill and a lot of seasonings. Soon, he drove the off-road vehicle back to the snowfield and returned to Shenmue. Lord Lion, I have emptied all the Coke in this supermarket, but there are still 3 boxes missing. But I bought a grill and seasonings, and I can let you taste the taste of barbecue when I go back, the black guy said a little nervously because he didn't complete the task. The huge Frost Lion King in front of him brought him unparalleled pressure. It's okay, go back. Shenmue wrote 4 big words on the snow. Each box of Coke brought back by Curly is 24 bottles, which is enough. Shenmue asked him to bring 30 boxes just because he was worried about accidents. Looking at the full box of Coke, Shenmue felt very at ease. After returning to the Lion Group, Shenmue grabbed the bottle of Coke, put it above his mouth, and then squeezed it directly. This can of Coke is like a small bottle of oral liquid in the hands of the Lion King, and he can drink a bottle in one sip. Bubbles rise. In fact, from the perspective of a lion's taste buds, the taste of cola is very ordinary, but the icy bubbles still made Shenmue feel the long-lost taste. Shenmue drank 10 bottles of cola in one breath, completing half a day's self-discipline. Because of the existence of Gluttonous Lion, he doesn't have to worry about osteoporosis or excessive sugar. The other lions in the Lion Group saw that the Lion King went out and brought back many boxes of strange water in blue bottles, and their eyes were a little curious. The ice crystal mouse on the side also stared at the cola in front of Shenmue without blinking. Seeing this, Shenmue directly put a bottle of cola in front of the ice crystal mouse. This time, Xiaobei supervised the black guy in the purchase of cola, which was also his own contribution. "Zhi, Lord Lion, are you really giving it to me?" The ice crystal mouse widened his eyes, as if he couldn't believe that the Lion King would give him the blue bottle of soda. Although it did not feel a trace of ice spiritual power from the blue bottle of soda, Lord Lion took such a big risk to go to the human world and bring this thing back. It should be very precious, right? End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.